We are brought to you by Boss Bears Supplements. That's Boss Bears Supplements at bossbears.co. Hard work, consistency, and determination are difficult to sustain when your mind and body can't keep up. Fuel your body with what it needs to perform like a boss. Whether you're closing deals, pitching a new business idea, or training in the gym, Boss Bears take your hustle to the next level. Our ingredients are the highest quality with potency and serving sizes that are the gold standard in the industry. Check out all of Boss Bears products at bossbears.co. They have apple cider vinegar gummies. They have ashwagandha. They have all kinds of supplements in delicious gummy form. They also have them in pill form if you don't want the gummies. I prefer the gummies. They are delicious, and I've tried the apple cider vinegar. They are very good. Use code Nicky at checkout to save 10%. That's bossbears.co, code Nicky. We are brought to you by Clout Power Supplements. That's KLOUTPWR.com. So here I have the protein, the Cravings protein from Clout. This one is the salted caramel. This is some of the best protein that I've ever had in my life. It's actually delicious. I like the salted caramel and the cinnamon swirl are my two favorites. Also, their pre-workouts are amazing. So they have the Karma Nootropic pre-workout. It's a nootropic and focused pre-workout. It's a lower stimulant formula, zero itch formula. It has 4 trademark ingredients, and has fully dosed ingredients. So far, the Arctic Cherry is probably my favorite of the Karma pre-workout. Also, try the Nero Aminos from them. And also the High Stimulant Mamba is some of my favorite too. And I really like the Arctic Cherry of that one. So go to cloutpower.com and use code Nicky to save 15%. KLOUTPWR.com. Code Nicky to save 15%. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Nicky Free Podcast, episode 31. We are here with Josh Pineda.
What's up, guys?
Josh, how's it going, man?
Dude, living life. It's going well, man.
It's going good?
Yeah.
That's good, man. So, the last time I had you on here, you had just released a new single.
Yeah, man. Bro, was it like a year ago?
That's like a year ago, dude. Yeah.
Dude.
So you were releasing that single, and music was going really well for you.
Yeah.
And actually, you have like a large, if I went to your Spotify and looked at your music, and you got a lot of streams on there and everything, so I imagine music's going pretty good for you still.
Dude, it's still going well, which thanks for asking, man. Like, it's still something I do.
Yeah. Well, because you've kind of changed up a little bit.
Yeah.
You started sharing more business related things on Instagram and everything.
Yeah, man.
But you're still into music as well.
Yeah.
So how have you been doing any shows, or do you have anything new with music going on?
Yeah, so at this point, the game right now is just about putting content out that gets on like commercials or TV placements or things like that. Because then it's income coming in.
Right.
And right now, like, my biggest fan bases are like Brazil and Japan, dude, which I've never been there.
Yeah, well, it's all that romantic music you do, dude. You know, they love that
they
stuff.
like to move their hips down there. So
yeah, well, your stuff is good. I remember that song. Some love songs and stuff like that. So
yeah, appreciate it, man.
But yeah. So then, how did you transition more into what you're doing today? So I would say you still musician, recording artist, still doing Muay Thai.
Oh yeah.
So martial artist, and
Still
also entrepreneur and businessman. That's how I put you down. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
So tell us what kind of business ventures you're into now, man.
Yeah, man. Well, so actually, these are things I've been doing for a long time because I needed something to make money for the music.
Yes.
Because everyone's a starving artist, right? So I'm like, it costs so much to build. Like, music is a terrible venture.
Right.
Until you make it.
And I kind of knew about this because, I know your our mutual friend Deborah. So she's been always like keeping me filled in. She's like, yeah, man, Josh is killing it.
Yeah, I wish she was here. We'll get on the same one soon.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have her back again, and we'll have you together. But I kind of wanted to have you here, just you this time.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Well, to answer your question, man, oh my gosh. So back in 2020, right, it was like the end of my rope because I was barely making enough money to support my music.
So starving artist.
Starving artist, man. And then, pandemic hit, lost my job, lost all the business I did have. And then obviously no shows were happening. So I was at square one, dude. Actually, square zero, like -1. Dude,
Yeah.
I was DoorDash. It's like a worse Uber Eats.
Yeah. No, I know what DoorDash is. A lot of people do that to make
Yeah.
some money, and,
Yeah,
and there's no shame in that, dude.
No,
Yeah.
it's a good side hustle, but it's not a good main hustle.
No,
My
it's
only
not.
source
It's
of
not what
income.
you want to do.
No, so I was making like $800 a month, man, which is not good. So
Yeah.
I was like, I need to change it up.
Okay.
So I got into, well, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. You know, I've tried different business ventures and it went well.
Yeah.
And I decided to just take it by storm in 2020. And here we are 2 years later, and it's funding my music. And
Right.
I'll tell the story in a second. But like I went public with it now because I've seen a lot of like crappy stuff out there. of
Right, I
people getting
noticed
sucked
that.
into things.
That's the post I noticed that made me kind of want to have you was when you were talking about, because I'm like, okay, what's Josh doing? I hope he's not doing some kind of scam or some kind of
It's
bullshit.
a pyramid scheme.
Because
no,
or a
man.
pyramid scheme or
So
some
many of those.
shit. But you're actually trying to fight against that stuff. Is the whole point?
1,000%.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, okay.
1,000%. That
Right.
shit makes
There's
me
so much
mad.
bullshit out there. Like
Oh,
every
dude.
time you post anything, you get so much, spam and everything. And yeah.
It's annoying when you see it, but I've been in this industry, like the entrepreneurial space, for a long time, and it actually is like enraging to me how many people like lose their livelihoods.
Well,
of
because you
shit
probably
like that.
know the shit they're actually doing.
Yeah, and it's straight. It's just
So you're like, what the fuck?
It's terrible, and you know what? Because people are just really, really good at marketing. So they'll sell you a dream or something,
Yeah.
but they have no fulfillment. They're like, oh, take your money, you're done. Like screw you,
So
it's
what
like-
they do is they sell you the dream, and they take your money because you're hungry to learn the secret or whatever.
because
that
you're a
they're-
starving artist like me.
Right, there's some secret they're trying to tell you, and so but really what they're doing is they're just good at marketing, selling this kind of like false thing, and then they make a bunch of money, but the person never actually gets the secret
Right.
and never.
Well, the thing is,
applies
it's half
it.
truth because
Yeah.
it is a real thing.
Yeah.
And most of these people are making like millions of dollars from their secret,
Right,
but they don't tell you how to actually.
they don't
do
actually help the people get to it
No,
themselves. Okay.
no. So it's
yeah.
like I just paid for a mentor, and you kind of left me, man.
Right, right.
So yeah, I took it public because I'm like, look, there's a lot of ways you can get out of this rat race because I did it, and I'm not anymore. I'm not smarter than everybody else. I did it. It's possible. It takes work, and it takes a real mentor. But I'm
Right.
just sick and tired of people like seeing people lose their livelihoods, and I'm like, man, I could have helped you for a tenth of that price or less,
Right.
or
So
for
it's
free.
like it's kind of similar to coaching in the fitness industry.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because there's a lot of bullshit in that too, and I think coaches that are good coaches, they see it and they get kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they're like, God, that's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so all right, well, tell us how you got into that, man.
Dude, all right, so I back in the day, I tried to start a lot of businesses, right? Like e-commerce. I tried to start a Shopify store,
Oh, yeah,
Amazon
I've heard of
FBA, all these things that cost like $20,000-$30,000 to start, which is not too much to start a business, but it's a lot of money for people that.
Oh,
you haven't
yeah,
made money.
definitely.
That's like a lot of money, man. That's like a year's income.
Yeah.
So you sink it into a business, and you realize, oh shit, it's not as easy as they said it was.
Right.
Right. So I tried a bunch of those things. I tried having a marketing agency. I tried digital marketing. I tried affiliate marketing. All these things. None of them really panned out. But what I
Yep.
realized was, look, man, all those business owners are like me. If they finally make it, they're busy, man.
Yeah.
Like they're like drowning. They're trying to keep their head above water too.
Right.
So-
they have so much work. Yeah, like
So,
it's
dude,
not
so
like a
much.
lack of work or a lack of opportunity. Yeah.
No, it's just they don't know how to scale. Well, they know how to scale, but there's like a million things you got to do before your business becomes $100 million business. That
Right.
runs
I've
itself.
actually heard a lot of businesses will fail in the scaling up portion. So they have a great idea, they start doing great, and then they get too successful, and the success kills them.
Can't keep up with it.
Because they can't scale up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't keep up with it. So they raise their prices, and customers are like, well, why is it that much money? Because, dude, I still can't pay my rent.
Yeah.
Business owners, right? So what I realized, though, there's a bunch of mini businesses inside of a business. A lot of skill sets that are not easy, but you can learn pretty easily.
Right.
And I could sell myself as a business to help all those business owners out because I know their struggle. I tried it myself.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I'm thinking, man, okay, what do they need? Copyright, right? To write good copy,
Yeah.
marketing, customer service, and sales.
So they can
fulfillment.
outsource that.
They can outsource it because a business owner, they're usually good at one thing, which is the product or their business or their offer, right? A coaching guy, right? Like a fitness coach, is probably
Yeah.
really good at coaching. You can't handle 100 sales calls a day and still coach.
Right, and sometimes we're not so good at like marketing or you know
Right.
what I'm saying. A
Right.
lot of coaches they just want to coach.
'Cause you're a good coach.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
then maybe they're not, or like you get an artist, like you said, a musician like yourself. They might be a great creative, but that doesn't always. Creative people don't always have the business sense,
Right, man.
and a lot of times they actually complete opposites.
Opposite. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Creative space is much more like, I would say, kind of cluttered and messy, and that's where the creative head lives, not organized and on time.
Right.
You know, not all the time, but a lot of times that's true of like artists and musicians.
It's not sustainable, man. Yeah,
yeah.
it's tough,
so
man.
It's hard for a lot of musicians to learn that business side. You know?
Yeah, totally, man. But that's why they need people like me to come in and say, look, I'm an expert at this one thing. Mm-hmm. So I had this plan, right, which is like, look, I want to have 5 phases. I want to develop a skill set that's going to pay me, because at this point, you know, the difference between rich people and people that never get past the broke stage, right, is that people that are stuck in the broke stage like me, we equate money with time.
Okay.
Right. Well, if I spend more time on this, or maybe if I get $10 more an hour, or if I go from $25 an hour to $50 an hour, I'm good. No, you're still trading your time for dollars. Whereas wealthy people or successful people, they equate money with value.
Right.
I can do one thing all year, but if it's worth $1 million, I'm a millionaire, and I spent 30 minutes on it.
Yeah, and that's like the goal. I mean, everybody talks about it is, you know, not trading your time for money.
Yeah.
Multiple sources of income and passive income.
Right.
Like, that's like everybody's dream.
Right. But the problem is people don't take it in steps the right way.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I tried it. It didn't work out. Like, no, so you got to develop it in steps, just like anything else. If it was easy and quick, everyone would do it.
Right, and I think that's why everybody doesn't do it.
Right.
It's like actually easier to like go get a job and work for somebody else.
It is.
Because they're taking care of all the hard shit.
Oh, yeah. It's much easier to give up on your dreams.
But you're just trading your time for money, and you're not going to get anywhere.
Still
and
slow
if
death.
that's all you want to do, that's chill. But if you don't want to do that, they want to listen. So like they want to learn how to.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that listen to this show, they're interested in that kind of thing. So.
Right. Well, it's just it's a slow death.
I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Like slowly dying.
It's kind of like letting your dreams go to die.
Right. Like, all right, if you pay me $50,000 a year, I'll forget about the aspirations I had.
Right. We were saying that. I had the business owner from FX Sups on here, so he started a supplement company, and they're doing very well. And so he was really fun to talk to because, well, I mean, for one thing, we have bodybuilding in common because he's going to do the show coming up in April. But also, the dude started, FX Sups. So, like, he had a lot of cool stuff to say, and it was really similar stuff. And, yeah, he had said that line about salary is a drug they give you to forget about your dreams.
It is, man.
Yeah. So it's like.
It totally is.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and I say that like humbly too, because a lot of people, I remember I would kill for a job. There was a time where I was like, man, I'll do anything for a job. But then after 10, 20, 30 years, you start realizing, oh, man. Like,
right. And it's not to put anybody down. That should be your first step. You know what I mean?
It should be. Yeah. But my first step was, let me develop a skill set that doesn't grow my money linearly, because I could get a job and get $5 an hour more, and then $2 an hour more, but that's linear. In 20 years, I'll still be right around the same level.
Very slow, and with the way that inflation works.
My shoulder's inflamed.
Yeah, by the time you get inflation going and everything, you're not really gaining.
You
that
actually
much.
took a step backwards.
Right? Well, right, like it's like last year, you get a raise. And with inflation, it's like I still just took a pay cut.
I know.
Like I literally got a raise, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
But really, I would need I can't remember how much more to make up for the inflation. So I really just took a pay cut. You know?
You just got to get ahead. You got
to
get
wild,
your head above
dude.
water, man.
Yeah.
Which is why I started with a skill set where I'm like, look, if I'm getting paid $25 an hour, which I wasn't, way less.
Right.
I want something that I get paid $350 an hour for.
Yeah.
Or $1,000. Like
that's
at my peak, I was making around $952 an hour.
Yeah.
Which then it's like, hey, I've gotten ahead. I can now breathe and learn how to build wealth. But it starts with making enough money to be like, I'm ahead.
So you got to have the capital to make capital, right?
You do.
It's like,
you do. And there's no easy way. But the easiest way is to learn a skill set and provide an honest, hardworking value for someone that, like a business owner, it's like, man, I'm overwhelmed. Right, I need someone to come and do this.
Right.
All right.
So you're filling a need that's
serving,
out
man.
there.
Serving and solving a problem makes more money than any scheme I've ever seen.
Right.
Which is the principle of life, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, mutual it's mutually beneficial, and you're solving somebody's problem. That's your leverage. That's your value, right? So,
of course, man. Of course. And if you provide massive value, like more than what your marketed service is for, you get repeat business, you get referrals, and eventually you have good relationships where people pay you 10 times what you're worth because it's worth that to them.
Right.
Right, which is the whole nature of this game, which people don't, they skip that step. They give up before that.
So how long do you think it took you to get those kind of relationships with people?
Yeah, man. So it took networking, right? So first of all, I had to figure out what skill set do I want to master,
Yes.
right? And every business has at least 3 phases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marketing, sales, and fulfillment.
Yep.
Okay. Marketing, they typically either have it or they've got one person that does marketing. They don't need a team of people.
Yes.
And fulfillment, usually the business owner takes care of fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going to do the coaching. But sales is where most people struggle because, number one, there's a bunch of antiquated, old, scammy ways to sell, and people have a bad notion about it when really things have changed now.
Yeah.
And 2, it takes a lot more skill and work than business owners have.
Okay.
And
So
they don't need
sales.
just one person. They need like dozens of people
You
to
need
come
a lot
and
of
fill it.
salesmen. Yeah.
Yeah, that are good though. So for example, businesses I would network with, they were like, man, Josh, I'm getting like 120 phone calls a day. And by the way, this is called high ticket sales. I only sell something that's worth high ticket.
Yes.
Because if I'm getting commission, if I sell something that's worth $25,000 and I get 10%, I just made $2,500 on a 30-minute phone call.
Right.
I couldn't make $2,500 on my job no matter how many raises they give me.
No.
I got to
yeah,
hit
yeah.
exponentially, right?
Right.
So that's what I got into. High ticket sales is the best way right now for anybody. And number 2, you got to have good salesmanship, which means like you're not using the old sales tactics.
So what would you say are those old timey like sales tactics? Like the
Dude,
kind we
oh
hate,
my-
like the kind like when the credit card calls you or
dude,
like
pisses me off. Yeah,
like
no one-
you're always closing and all that.
Oh
and
my
like,
god,
yeah.
bro! Like nobody buys like that anymore. Like maybe in the '80s, like Wolf of Wall Street, it's a funny movie.
I was gonna say, is that like your Bible now?
Oh, dude, opposite. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a funny
yeah.
movie. Like I love that movie. But
So
that
do
dude,
I,
that dude's
so
like
good.
a dick. He's a jerk,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like really good at sales back then, and I love that movie.
And he's
bro.
probably adapted to now too, because
A little
he's
bit. I
probably
still follow his stuff, and a
Yeah.
little bit, but it's still a bit old school, right? Where
He's
it's
kinda
like
old school,
you
yeah.
got to sell the product and the opportunity, right? You got to sell all the benefits, and you got to high pressure people into making a decision, and
Right.
you know you got to pressure people.
go
which
for
back
emotion.
then-
Go for emotion.
oh my
and-
god,
yeah.
dude! Which back then it worked because no one knew that stuff, right? You get a phone call and someone saying they can give you $1 million. You're like, oh yeah.
Sick. Yeah.
Right. Nowadays, dude, we have the internet. People are informed before they get on the call with you.
That's true. A lot of times people are. It's just harder to scam people in general.
Hey, it better be. Yeah, it is harder.
Yeah. just
Even with all
'cause
the
of
scams
internet,
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sales has changed now where it's like these business owners only knew that style, and I come in literally like a servant leader saying, look, how can I give you value? Because if you don't want to work with me, I'll still point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me have empathy and lead you to make the right decision for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Well, so what are the good sales tactics then?
Yeah, well, again, like just listening to people like, look, man, I'm here to help you make the
And
best
what
decision.
problem do they have that you can solve? Is that
Right.
kind of
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if you're not here for this, I'm not going to sell this to you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you right now, it's not cheap. But what is the problem you have? Is it an expensive problem? You might need an expensive solution. I'm coming as a doctor, taking
Yeah,
care of
yeah,
a
yeah.
patient. Like, is it broken? Because I might just tell you, bro, walk it off.
right?
I'm literally like, man up,
Like
walk
this
it off.
isn't worth it for you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I might tell you, dude, you need surgery, like ASAP.
Okay.
Like,
And-
don't care about the money. You need to walk again.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So it'd be actually worth it for them to invest that kind of money.
Right. And it also, you have to work for a good offer, like a good company that actually provides value. So I found those businesses, and the business owner would say, look, man, like, I've got 100 calls a day. I can't take even half of these. I need you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, sure, as a business, let me take this off your hands,
Right.
and I just want 10% commission for my services as a business serving your business.
Right. So okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what? How many businesses do you work with?
Oh, man, I've worked with dozens. I've
Yeah.
worked with dozens. Sometimes you pick one and stick with them for a while because you're like, you know what, man, like, I like your vision. I want to help grow this company as a partner almost.
Okay, but so it kind of comes and goes then.
Comes and goes. That's
Yeah.
so the best part about this is freelance, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be tied into a employee contract
Mm-hmm.
because then just like with COVID or anything else, they can terminate me in a second. I'm not any more free.
Yeah.
But this way, I'm a business. I come and go as I please as long as I get the job done, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll work harder for you, and then I can work for any place in
Right.
the
You're
world.
not on contract with any one person or
No,
anything.
no,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Freelance is the way to go, man.
All right, man. So and then you've turned this into a business of coaching other people into how they can do it, right?
Now I have. So
And
I
that's
did
a
this
new
before.
that's a new thing.
Sort of. So
Yeah.
I worked my way up over the last 2 years
Right.
to, I provided so much value to businesses that they said, Josh, can you actually help grow the sales team? You're killing it. Can you get more people like you?
Yeah.
So I'd help these companies, and like these are startups. Like they're starting in a room, kind of like us here.
There's
talking.
probably tons of startups right now too.
Tons of startups,
It's such
man.
a like fertile time for like
Dude,
with
because
the,
there's so much value, and all of them, like everyone's like, oh, they're all scams. No, they all have value.
yeah.
They just don't know how to get it to you in the right way. They need people like me to come in and say, look, let's get this to the right people, right? So I'd scale their teams, and like companies would go from like 10,000 a month to like 500,000 a month with me and their team in like 6 months because
Yeah.
we put the right people in place. So I've been
Okay.
training people for a while, but it was low key. Like I'm like, hey, I'm gonna help this company. It's not
Right.
my public business. I just want to do it word of mouth.
Right. So that was where you kind of cut your teeth on how to teach other people how to do this.
Yeah, just fun, man. You see people thrive, man, where they're like, man, I need to quit my job, and I'm like, look, train with me for 2
Yeah.
weeks. This company needs your help, and they go from like 2,000 a month to like 12,000 a month, and they're like, man,
Yeah,
I worked
that's
4 hours
crazy.
today, Josh. This is crazy. I'm like, find your brother, somebody who wants to do this. Let's do this. So yeah, it's fun, man. That's why I
So
learned.
then what made you decide you wanted to turn that into a different, like, because I noticed that's what you've been doing with your Instagram lately
Oh, yeah, man.
is you've kind of shifted it into this business thing where you're going to teach other people how to do this.
Yeah. So I have this plan, right? I had this plan for a long time, which is like the 5 steps. Number
Right.
1, get a skill set that exponentially grows my income and takes away the time factor.
Yes.
Number 2, learn how to invest those things into businesses that grow. Number 3, put it into the stock market and real estate. Number 4, start a $100 million company. And then number 5, start selling those assets, right?
Hell yeah.
And that's what I was going to do, and all to myself. But by working with all these companies, I see so many people in the sales training space or just the entrepreneurial space, and they're starting to promise things that they don't deliver on.
Yeah.
Not starting to. It's been going on for a while, but like, I guarantee you'll do X, Y, Z, and then they
so
don't.
these are all kind of scams that drive you nuts.
Dude, it just pissed me off because I know these people. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Just because I have the same money as you does not mean I'm in the same class as you, man. Like, yes, you're a CEO and we make the same money, but, dude, I feel for those guys
Right.
and those girls that are down here trying to make a living, and you're taking $40,000 they don't have,
Yeah,
and then
because
only
that's
1% of your students succeed. That's not successful business. I don't
no,
think.
not really, man. Yeah, especially if you're kind of like taking money from the people that are struggling the most, and they're like they're like where you were when you started.
I know, man.
And
come
imagine
on.
if you would have run into something like that when you started, and I'm sure a lot of people have.
I
and
did.
Still, yeah, I'm sure you did too, and
Yeah.
worked through it. Because, I mean, that's what it's like when you're, first starting. Is there's always you got to be really careful. Like even in the fitness thing, like with
Yeah.
when you get these sponsorships and stuff, like is it a good one? Is it legit? Is
Right.
it like you don't know? There's so many offers coming at you. It's like you don't know what's So you gotta like pick and choose, I think.
Dude, and you were just talking about that too, which is
Yeah.
smart that you are.
You gotta be
because-
pretty careful before you like
Yeah.
put your name on something.
Absolutely, man. It's just everyone got so good at marketing
Mm-hmm.
that it's like half these companies, they just like take people's money, and again, they're good at what they do, but they just
Yeah.
don't actually teach it. And I saw so many people where I'm like, I could have trained you for free, man, and got you a job. You know what I
Right.
mean? But you just spent $40K on someone who doesn't even know your name still.
Jesus,
Like, that's insane, man.
that is
It
insane.
just started pissing me off, and I started realizing, man, I got something to give here. And then the other option is what? Spend on average $108,000 on a college education.
Yeah.
That now you get your degree, and they still will tell you, oh, well, we'll start you at 15 an hour and work your way up for 20 years.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
What did I spend $108,000 for, man? That wasn't even an investment anymore.
Well, and that's why people have so much college debt.
Dude,
it's
it
like-
pisses me off. Where I'm like, man, so
it's pretty wild out there.
well, I just want to change it up, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, I'm coming for the education industry. Like, look, one day I'm gonna provide a legitimate like alternative to college education, where you work with me for 3 months. I will help you. I'll either help you fund your business, start a business, or get a 6-figure job inside of 3 months, right out of high school or wherever, so you don't have to do this anymore.
Right, and there's like, I mean, there's even people that like, if you look on YouTube, there's people that have figured out how to make money
Yeah.
by watching YouTube videos
Yeah.
instead of going to college
Yeah,
because
man.
it's such a racket at this point.
Yeah, it's insane, dude.
Like with student loans and everything. I mean, it's still great. Everybody, college is good, but
Well, there's still good things about it. It's
there's
not
still good
evil.
things. But it's like
Yeah.
you're right. A lot of times you spend all this money, and then what you end up, like you said, with a job where you make like maybe 40, 50,000 a year. Like what do you
Maybe if they even let you
If
get
you're
there
lucky,
without
yeah.
10 years of experience, right? But again, college is not evil. Universities are great, especially if you're a doctor, lawyer, finance,
Oh,
business,
100%,
right? But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like for most of us, we don't know what we want to do, and there's other ways to make money, and you can go figure out what you want to do since you're free.
Mm-hmm.
Or their alternative is, well, let me pay like a fraction of college. Let me pay $40,000 to a mentor. and they don't help them. So I'm like, this is pissing me off. People
Yeah.
if I can help people, why not?
Right. So if people wanted to work with you, what would they do then?
Yeah, well, it depends. Like, so for right now, I'm building this from scratch, and I'm actually showing it. That's why I started posting it, because I want to be
It's all
as
new. I know
integrous.
that. It's all new. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for 2 years, just not for the public.
Mm-hmm.
Only with people like CEOs would send me someone and say, hey, work with my sales rep. All right.
Right.
Or work with my sales team. I'll fly you out and just do training for my sales team. Okay. Now I'm doing it for normal people like me when I started, right?
Yeah.
But I'm building it transparently. Like, I want people to see me build it so they know, like, hey, this is what you get. This is real. I'm going to help you. And the thing is, to work with me, it's customizable. Like, everyone's a little different.
Yes.
Everyone has different skills, talents, and abilities. And I'm going to start with one skill set and teach it to you. But everyone, and more importantly, it's not skill set as much as mindset, too.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, man. If I'm your mentor, I'm your mentor. Like, this is
So you're
holding you
gonna
back.
try to work with their mindset and everything too, and
Yeah.
like one thing in the coaching, you can work with a coach who like so in my field like fitness and everything. You could get a coach where you work with them and they barely know you. They don't really listen to you. You get very cookie cutter stuff from them. You know, and then or you can get a coach where like it's crazy that they take so much personal care, like getting to know each one of their clients and like and that's rare, but those are like the really good
But
coaches.
that's coaching, man. If I'm paying for a coach, I didn't
Well,
pay
that's
for a
what the
course.
coach's job is,
Yeah,
really.
I could get this on an app, but I wanted you. For a
Right, you
reason.
could get an AI app or something that
Yeah.
spits out cookie cutter things. If you have a coach, you kind of want them to like listen to you and understand you a little bit, and then
Yeah, so that's what that is, man. I mean, it is like working out. Like most people,
Yeah.
if you can't even get to the gym at 6 a.m. consistently, none of the skill set I train you is going to matter.
So your thing is similar to that, because that's the
Very
hardest
similar.
part about coaching is like
Yep.
people will pay for this thing and then they think it's kind of like a magic thing that
Not
happens.
magic.
It's like no, like you still have to like go do it.
Yeah, if
It's
this was
like-
magic, I wouldn't be telling you.
Like if there was some magic pill you could just take and like all of a sudden you're in shape, everybody would do that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
and I would be selling it for what the gurus are doing. No, that's
Yeah.
not magic. You got to work.
yeah. You
But
still
most
have
people
to,
don't know how to work or don't have a coach to help them. They don't know where to find ways to do this. So
Right.
let's at least give you a hand up.
Right, man. So like, what is your schedule like right now?
It's crazy right now
Yeah.
because I'm trying to suck back on all the other things I'm doing.
Yes.
Because I have a bunch of. So again, I did start my plan. I'm on phase 3 of the plan. So I have a bunch of businesses I've invested
So
in.
what's the plan again? Say all 5 of them.
Right. So step 1, learn a skill set that exponentially raises the amount of money I make and takes away the time factor, which I did.
Yep.
So now I've got hundreds of thousands of dollars. Step 2, what do I do with those hundreds of thousands? Well, I want to start investing them in businesses that are cash flowing assets.
Yes.
Right. I want to put them in places where the business will run and make me money every year. So if I lose my job, I lose my legs, I can still make money.
Mm-hmm.
Step 3 was put that into things like the stock market and real estate.
Yes.
Right. And now I've got my wealth all working for me. I've got 7 to 15 streams of income working for me. And now the real building of my empire is going to start.
Right.
Where I want to build a world-changing company or an
Right.
app or something, right?
Yes.
Or launch like part of an IPO for something that changes the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then get to billion with a B, which is my plan, because I want to influence the way this world works.
Right.
You can't do that without less than I've realized, right? I want to influence like the way things work. Like Mark Cuban,
Right.
he went against Big Pharma. He's a mega billionaire.
Right. So you can actually do positive things.
Right. Like
Yeah.
imagine we went against big oil or something and we were billionaires going at these other billionaires and I'm like, guess what? Gas is affordable or fuck
It's
it,
kind of
free.
like it takes a fight fire with fire approach, right? It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Well, you need billions to influence hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
That's the goal. It's not about being rich anymore. So that was the plan, right?
Yep. So you're on step 3 of that plan.
Right. Yeah. So I've had businesses, but because of this is taking my focus for a reason. I do want to impact the world like this. So I'm like, look, I don't need to, I'm still going to be able to do those things. But right
Yes.
now, the company I want to build is something that's an education platform that actually helps people be financially free and helps companies scale.
Right.
So
Yes. That's a good.
I want to help 1 million people. That's the goal.
So that's the goal. And how many years do you think that'll take?
I don't know, man. But I'm
Yeah,
in
that's
till
a
the
lot
end.
of people, but yeah.
But when you scale things, I mean, legitimately, by the end of this, like a year from now, we may be close.
Right, because it's like you train people that train people that train.
Right. If I help 1,000 businesses, and those 1,000 businesses help 1,000 people,
Yeah.
that's 1 million right there. And then if I help 1,000 people become financially free, and they in turn send me 3 people each that want to be free, I'm helping people out.
Right.
So that's the goal there.
So have you Do you have a website, or have you named the business yet? Or are you just kind of going through
Still thinking of it, man. I don't have a website yet, but I'm building one.
Right.
As of right now, everything is really, really organic, which I want it to be. So it's my social media is my website now.
Right, and it's just kind of been through Instagram and everything.
Instagram and Facebook, I've been flooded, like more than I can handle, which is good.
How much would you say that you use Instagram and social media, even like prior to starting this, to like do what you do with like in business in general?
Dude, it's
because I would say everything
so
is on.
good.
I would say everything.
People don't know how to use it, man. It's like a free marketing tool.
Yeah.
It's insane. So I've worked for 2 companies, right?
Yep.
One of them spent about $200,000 a month on ads, right? Which works because that company made about $600,000 a month, $400,000 in profit.
Right.
Because $200,000 goes to ads.
So the advertising did work. That's traditional kind of advertising.
Traditional, through YouTube ads and Google ads and people clicking on a web funnel and all that, which is a good model. It works.
Yeah.
I also am working with a company that does over $1.2 million a month, and they spend less than $30,000 a month in ads. It's all organic from social media.
And what is like a click funnel?
Yeah, so a funnel is like those ads you see on YouTube, which by the way, people are like, oh, it's all a scam. A lot of those have huge value. I've bought more courses than anyone I know, and I've made more money from those courses.
Well, the true thing is, like, I think like, it's not like if you buy one of those, because I've even thought about it too, and then, like, I had a gym owner on here one time, and he was saying that too, like, he's like, I fought it, and he's like, I realized, like, actually paying for marketing was worth it to me.
Totally.
And he's like, sometimes you just have to, like, take a chance, because it's like,
yeah,
I mean, you can do some of it yourself, but sometimes, and you probably, even if you, like, his point was, even if I fuck up and get a shitty one, I still learned a lesson at least.
Yeah, you learned something. I mean,
so he's
we
like,
spend more on college.
Right, he's like, everything I've done, I've learned something from it. So,
dude,
like,
yeah, I mean, for two things I'll say about courses. I know we're taking off topic, but this is important, right?
Right.
Number one, people spend like 20 times that on college and spend 2 years of that fucking off and drinking and all that. You know what I mean? Like,
100%,
so like, all right, you
dude.
wasted, but you're not going to spend on a course. And two, here's how rich people versus poor people think. A rich person thinks, if one person succeeded from that course out of 100, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And a poor person thinks, well, if 100% of people haven't succeeded, it's a scam.
Right.
Right. So.
But that's kind of just a poor mentality.
It is, which is, I mean, it's okay because no one's modeled that. I had that. No one modeled that for me.
I was gonna say, would you say that in the last 2 years, when you've kind of become successful, how much of it was mindset that played in? Because even me, I know that, growing up kind of blue collar and from a small town, we get this, and even people around here that work service industry or these, you get this really weird idea like that, and it puts you in a box and you're limiting yourself because of it. So growing up, you get this idea that like rich people are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
They're assholes. They're screwing everybody over. And, like, also you get the idea, like, I'll never be rich, so I'm going to hate them. And it's, like, it's a weird thing because when you say that to yourself, you've just put yourself in this box where you've told yourself, I never will be rich, and that's going to keep you from doing it, right?
It's the one thing. Well, two answers to that. Number one, that's there for a reason. That mentality, the reason I'm doing these things, I want to be a billionaire with a B. Mm-hmm. There is a system out there that is designed to keep us underfoot.
Yeah.
Where we say, oh, no, we hate the rich. People think there's this huge, divide out there that, oh, no, it's a politics war or it's a race war or something, which a lot of those things are true. It's a class war, man. It's an all-out class war.
And it's designed to keep you in that box thinking like that.
Yeah,
so
like,
that
I'll
you
never make it. It's insidious, but it's subtle, and we don't know when it's whispered to us, but it's whispered to us from the minute we go into school.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's out there. So
we're brainwashed into thinking it.
Yeah. And then the second thing is, rich and poor to me has nothing to do with the money I have. I could have $0. I'll be rich in a week or two. Yeah. I could have $1 million and lose it tomorrow. I'm still poor. It's a mindset. It has nothing to do with my net worth.
And once you have that mindset, do you think that like if you lost everything you have now, you could make it back?
Yeah, no doubt.
Because I do believe that because I've seen, and they've had so many of those, where somebody will win lottery.
Yeah, dude.
And like it's a huge sum, and it's gone.
That's so sad.
Because
so sad.
because their mentality isn't that mentality of someone who is going to earn and make money.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how much money you give them, they lose it anyway.
Right. Well, you seem like most pro athletes, right?
Yeah. Well, because they weren't ready for it. Yeah.
Right. Well, because in when I was broke, same mentality. Like if I'm used to having 0, everything I do, subconsciously is going to get me back to zero because I'm used to
It's
that.
you go back to your safe zone, right? So like
Right.
to where you feel the most, and it's the same. We were talking about it on my friend Mark does like an Instagram live kind of podcast, and he was asking me about that too, and he was talking about, and I can't remember the athlete. He was talking about this football player who was really promising, and he made all this money, but he ended up losing it too, and it was like there is something about, you know, when you get to a certain level of success, you want to nosedive it, you want to self-sabotage because you get uncomfortable because, you know, if you were born with that kind of money and success and everything, you're used to it. But if you're not, it's like almost this, like you said, subconscious thing of
Man.
of wanting to like be back where I'm comfortable. Which, so if you're comfortable at zero, you're always going to put yourself. So you have to change your mindset,
You
right?
do. You have to change the fabric of your being because
Yeah.
if you're used to money always goes out, that's all I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If I have $1 million, all I know is money going out. I don't know how to get the money to come back.
How do you open yourself up to the idea that money's coming in, I'm prosperous,
Right.
I'm successful, I'm like,
You got to get a coach, man.
Yeah.
Or someone, or you got to follow someone who's just like, well, how do I, dude? I've never been in shape in my whole life.
and how did you do it
Right, how do I get in
how did
shape?
you do that for yourself? How did you
Right.
change your mentality?
Well, it was a lot of steps, right? Number one, surrounding myself with millionaires and stopping my victim mentality of hating these people.
Right.
And
That's huge.
I got something
think.
to learn from you, and I realized, oh, you guys give out more value than I've ever given out.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the Scrooge, right?
Yeah.
But I just hated you for no reason. So I need to learn what you're doing. And number two, it literally comes down to what you tell yourself. The brain is like a scale, right?
Right.
And if you have negative thoughts on one side, it's going to tip to that scale. If I think red cars all the time, I'll see red cars.
Oh yeah.
If I have more positive beliefs and affirmations,
Yep,
it'll
yep.
tip to that scale. But then I
It's
also have
wild.
to see it, right? So
Well,
it's nuts.
I always tell people on here too. There's a morning routine that I do, and it's like, you know, I
Nice.
get up, shower. It's nothing crazy. I mean, I should add to it actually and do more like meditating and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, shower, and then at the end of the shower, I take this like cold as it'll go shower, but I repeat this like mantra to myself, like five, you know, like I'll turn my back to the shower and I'll repeat this mantra however many times, and then I turn to the front and I do it. And it's basically, and I'm not going to say what they are because, like I always say, they're personal to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's basically like, you know, I'm this, I'm that, I'm success, you know, like.
Yeah.
And it's like you're basically just trying to brainwash yourself into believing, and it
have
works.
to.
You know what I'm
have
saying?
to.
It's
But
like
look what you did in the last 4 months, man.
oh yeah, it's crazy.
You have to.
Yeah.
Well, it's like working out. You got to be consistent with it.
You got to
Every
strengthen
action.
those neural pathways in your mind.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. Like if a kid's born, and their parents like, oh man, you're a fuck up, you know, like you're a piece of shit, then that's what's in their head.
Always.
So it's like, God, you know, why don't you try out for this, man? You're super good. No, I'm a fuck up. I won't be good. You know, it gets
Yeah.
like stuck in their head. So if you
Yeah.
can, so you're basically talking about reprogramming your brain.
I'm going to war with that voice, like violently. Going
Yeah,
to war
that's like
with
for
that
real.
voice.
Like that is voice is your enemy.
Yep.
Like you are your own enemy. So you're creating this new self, and the new self is like, I'm having none of you.
Right.
Like you're done. I'm in
Yeah.
control now.
And
It's
I'm
like-
going to wake up and beat you every day.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to lose to this.
And there's
voice.
not usually a day where you have to do it. It's an everyday thing.
Every
right?
day, 100 times a day. And it's not just saying it, though.
Yeah.
You got to do actions because
Oh,
your
right.
brain is going to look and to see what proof is there, right? So
Oh
for
yeah,
me-
that's the other thing we were talking about when
Ali
was on here. The
Yeah.
FX subs guy. He was like, yeah, it's great, except for if you're not taking the actions, then you're just delusional. It's like, yeah,
You're just saying it.
yeah. So if you're just saying it, that's not what I'm trying to say with this. But
No, but
you
gotta
still
do
have
both.
to put in the work. You still have to do the actions. But it
do
starts with
both.
your mental. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to do specific actions. Like, what would the 1% person do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go and have a 1% income.
Yeah.
I want to do what 1% people become a 1% person. The income will follow.
Because the actions are what cause the result.
Right. It's called leading indicators versus
Yeah.
lagging indicators.
Like, I want to be in really good shape. Well, what are you doing? Because the things you're doing are resulting in what you look like
Right,
now.
man. Right.
So if you want to look like that person, you're gonna need to take the actions that cause that result,
It's
and
so
you're not
crazy.
doing them right now. So
Right.
you need to start doing those. You know,
Right,
like,
man.
yeah.
And what do you call a win? Like for me, like if I want to gain 20 pounds, every day that I haven't gained 20 pounds, if that's my win-loss column,
Yeah.
I lose every day that I'm not 20 pounds more.
right. So that's unrealistic.
Unrealistic. But my win should be, am I doing the things that lead to being 20 pounds heavier? Did I
Because
go
then
to
you
the
have a
gym
win
today?
every day.
Am I eating my protein right? Am I getting 8 hours of sleep?
So say your goal is to gain muscle or whatever.
Yeah.
So a win every day was like I went to the gym and worked my ass off. I ate the proper healthy foods,
Yes.
but in a calorie surplus, because I'm trying to gain weight.
Yep.
So that would be a win.
That's a win.
You
And
know?
you have to say, I did my job today.
And then you got to consistently have more of those days where they're a win than less of them. That's the goal.
And I'm going to say that night,
Yeah.
you know what? I am a beast. I'm a physical beast. I can do this. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm whole. Because look what I did.
Right. You don't tell yourself that you're not, that you can't,
Right.
that you won't. Because then it's like, and I suppose, now have you ever experienced this too? It's like when you go on these paths like this, there's, like you said, you're at battle with your old self. So it is a lot of times you have to fight against, like, the old self will try to be like, wait a minute.
Well, it's years.
It's like, don't you remember you're me? Like, and it, like, it'll try to hold you back, you know?
Yeah.
There's even a lot of cool memes I know on Instagram. Like, you know, sometimes you have to, like, it's like the old you basically holding you back from becoming who you're supposed to be.
It's true, man.
Or you'll see like those spiritual things of like you have to shed the weight of the past.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like shedding your skin like a lizard sheds its skin. Like,
yeah.
Because you can't, if you hold on to that old version of you, you're not giving the new one room to become who you want to be.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question, man. So let's say you own a Honda Civic for 20 years. And what's your, do you have a dream car?
I mean, I have a few ideas, yeah.
Yeah, well, what's like one dream car?
Well, definitely like a Ford Raptor.
Okay, Ford Raptor,
I don't know
right?
why. I just
All right,
think
no,
they're
Ford
dope.
Raptor, yeah, it's badass. Okay, so let's say you own like a beat-up Toyota truck from like that movie Toy Story, right, with the yellow, horrible Toyota, right? It's just a beat-up truck, Pizza Planet, right?
Right.
And you own that for 20 years. You are a beat-up truck owner.
Yes.
But for one day, you finally get your Ford Raptor.
Yeah.
Are you a Toyota owner because a beat-up truck owner because you did it for 20 years, or are you now a Raptor owner?
Well, I would say I'm a Raptor owner.
Yeah, you only needed one day. It's the truth now. But we think, no, I'm still a, I'm still a beat-up truck driver. Nah, man, you own a Raptor owner. That's you now.
Right.
You are no longer the past. The past does not exist. Only right now exists.
Right, and I think it's actually powerful too in so many ways to think about this. So because not even just like financial stuff, which is what you're talking about, which I do think is super important actually.
Right.
Because it's the freedom that comes with that, your ability to like, it's not always about wanting to be rich. It's about like the freedom that comes with that, and then the ability to do good in the world that you get from that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like that that dude that just FTX dude, like, you know, act like I'm all super moral. Like, I'd like to be rich just because it would be fun as well. But
let's not lie to ourselves.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was all like, well, I'm just doing this to try to be virtuous.
Oh, shut up, bro.
It's like, bro, you just like pulled the biggest Ponzi scheme
It's
on everybody.
okay to say you wanted to be rich.
You want to be
rich
rich because it's dope.
It's all right.
Yeah,
You got away with it. Okay.
He was trying to make it like morally virtuous that he's like, you know, scamming people.
Oh, no. See, that's the difference, man. To me, like, my amount of money I have is just a way of keeping score of what quality of person am I.
Yeah.
Right? Am I a kind of person that's disciplined enough to be able to have the skill set to do that?
Right. So it's not necessarily, those aren't negative qualities. They're actually good qualities. Like, because it usually comes with like discipline, hard work, character, you know, networking, all that kind of stuff.
How much value did I provide somebody else?
Right. But also, like, I was going to say, like, you know, this idea that you can like change, I think, is really powerful, even if it's not about making money.
Yeah.
You know, so many people get stuck. Like, it's like it's kind of what you said about like, you have to go, like, if I want to be somebody in the 1%, I have to carry out the quality, or have the qualities, do the tasks, do the things that would lead to that consequence.
Right.
It's like the same thing is true about like, if you want to be a better person in general, say that you think you've been kind of shitty, or you've been, you know, treated people poorly, or this or that, like, you have the ability every day to wake up and choose, from this day on, I want to be a better person in this way. And the way you do that is by doing the thing, like, say I want to be a person that's like this. What is that person doing? What qualities do they have? Wake up every day and do those things and do those qualities, and then you will be that.
Yeah,
and
I'm a Raptor owner now.
Yeah, you don't have to be stuck to what you were in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man.
That's so powerful, because most people just accept it, and then they get like really bitter and depressed.
What's a limiting belief? And that's the one thing stopping you right now from having the financial freedom you want, is because you don't believe that's who you are, when really it could be today. You start today.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the other thing, is people are always waiting for this magic time to start.
Yeah. No.
Because I get that a lot with like fitness. It's like, well, there's just a lot going on right now, and I'm not this, I'm not. It's like, yeah, you know, if you're always waiting for the perfect, like, you'll never start.
Well, how bad do you want it? You know what I mean? If the enemy's storming the gate and you're busy planting crops, are you going to say, well, I'm just so busy right now, I can't protect my wife and children from the soldiers that are storming my castle?
Right.
No,
You
you
gotta go
just
to
don't want to
battle.
protect them enough, do you?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Because I think that too, they're waiting for some magic time. It's like,
No.
you know, and it's like maybe they don't feel good about themselves at the time. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
you're just not going to feel good about yourself for a while. And when you start seeing results, you will.
Right. Well, pick your pain.
Yeah.
Pain of inaction hurts. Being stuck where I was, like a
Yeah.
broke, starving artist, that hurts. I look in the mirror, I hate that. And the pain of growth also hurts. Which pain do you want, man? I picked the one where I'm going to have the end result. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I know. It's kind of crazy. Like, I love these, you know, some of these, like, Instagram memes. Like, I won't say who says them, but, like, we're not supposed to listen to it. But, like, it was, like, this idea that, like, you probably know what I'm talking about, yeah. Well, there's some value in some of it. Like, I don't agree with everything that person says.
That's
but
funny that
like,
you didn't have to say the name. We all just know.
Oh, yeah, you all know who I'm talking. Well, he's just that one where he was talking about, like, my feelings don't matter.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't. If you have a goal, like, how you feel every day doesn't matter. If you feel like shit, you still have to get up and do the things that are required of you.
Right.
If you feel good, you still get up and do. So it's about the tasks. Those are what you're talking about, the tasks that lead you to the end result that you're trying to get. And your feelings are completely, it doesn't matter how you feel that day. You still go and do the tasks.
Yeah.
And then the whole point was like, and then chances are, like, you're probably going to be feeling happy more often anyway because you're taking care of the things you need to take care of. Because what makes you feel like shit? Not doing the stuff you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Not doing what you expect of yourself. Because then it's like a corruption in you that makes you feel like shit.
Right. Well, it's like relationships too.
Because
right?
it's like
same thing.
You promise something to yourself and then you didn't do the work. You start feeling shitty about yourself.
Yeah.
And you know how you can stop that? By doing the thing that you're supposed to.
Yeah. Fulfill your promises.
Yeah. Even to yourself.
Exactly. 1,000. Most importantly to yourself.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that is funny. You like totally knew how you're going. Hey, I'm not justifying everything he says. Just
there's some gold in everything.
There's some good stuff.
Some gold in everything.
Yeah.
You can find it in the worst thing. You know, like there's some wisdom here, or there's a lesson here. So.
At least a lesson, right?
Yeah, there's a lesson.
All right, man. Well, yeah, that's some good stuff.
This is great, man.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, if somebody wanted to work with you, like, what do they do? What's the So first, would they just reach out to you?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll have what I call a career strategy call. Where legitimately, I want to figure out what exactly are your targets, your goals, and what are you doing now? Because if there's ways I can advise you for free right now, like, hey, read this book, start this business, you don't need much money to start it, but it's going to take this X amount of time.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who was like me, which most people are, that's why I picked the sales route, because I'm like, hey, most people could use this skill set. Let's figure out what your passions are, what your personality is, you know, what you don't want to do, what your moral high ground is versus what you're not going to do, right? Let's figure out what your target is and what's at stake here. And let me put together a plan based off of every bit of knowledge I know, right? Here's the businesses I've worked with. Here's the routes I've gone. Here's how much money you make. And here's exactly what work is involved. I'll do the opposite of these gurus. I'm going to tell you, just like working out, this ain't going to be fun.
Right.
It's going to be fun when we're winning, and I'm going to be there every step of the way, but it's going to be more fun than staying stuck where you're at. Yes. If I can't help you, I'm not going to charge you. I'm going to find a way to help you some other way. But if you want to work with me, let's figure out a plan for you, and let's get you seeing real results. But that means more than teaching you a course or a skill set. I'm going to work with you to become that 1% person that I know you are.
And then they're going to have to start working.
Yeah,
and that's the hard part.
But the good news is I picked a skill set to teach that you only need a few hours at a time.
Yeah.
You know, you got 1 hour a day, you can learn this. You got 30 minutes a day, you can learn this. You got 4 hours a day, you can make twice what you make right now. Mm-hmm. So let me help you do that.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
And that's just phase one. Then when people have the money, all right, here's where I invested next. These are the businesses that worked. These are the businesses that are scams. These are the ones that paid out fastest. These are the ones that paid out the most, but harder.
So if they make money, you'll help them figure out what to do with it next.
That's the next phase. I want to create a literal university for life. Like, all right, here you go. Here's the next phase. Let's get you to 7 figures like I'm at right now, right? Or wherever I'm at, whatever it is. Let's get you to 8 figures by investing in these stocks right here. And I'm going to give you financial advice, but here's what I'm doing.
Right.
Okay. Here, let's impact people. Or you could stop right there because you're good. Yeah. How can you get your entire circle of friends, family, and whoever you care about to be financially free too? And mentally free. So that's why I want to have a platform where I'm like, we can change the system, man.
Right. And I think that's like for most people, that is what would make them happier, is kind of being free of the traditional system of like clocking in, clocking out. Like
that was made for the 1900s when we needed factory workers. Yeah, that's a good system for that.
There's
past that.
You ever hear that Weezer song? It's like Troublemaker,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
it's like punching in and punching out and sucking up to Bob. Like
Oh man.
or it's like I can't work a job like any other slob, punching in and punching out and sucking up to Bob.
Yeah, yeah.
Marrying some biatch, having 7 kids, giving up and growing old and hoping there's a God.
Yeah, man.
I'm a troublemaker. I love that song, dude. But
But
yeah,
it's
we
like,
used to sing that line
everybody
all the
thinks
time.
that though, you know? Why does everybody sing that song? Because we all feel the same
Because
shit.
everybody wants that. Why was like
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin had a promo
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that in ECW where he's like, that's not me, man. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I
Yep.
could go back and start punching in and punching out at some job. He's like, but that's not me. You know?
Yeah,
And,
man.
and he was like really feeling it because he was kind of in between jobs at the time, and like his wrestling career was a little bit, who knows where it's gonna go. He'd been working for a big company for a while, so when he said that promo, it was real because he knew like it's either like I need to get signed by a big company right now, or I got to go back to that. And he's like, that is not me. I do not want to be that.
Right,
So I don't
right,
think
right.
a lot of people actually do. I think some people do because,
It's fine.
and that's fine. And I think it's people that kind of need somebody else to give. It's basically like you either work really hard and work for your own dream and your own purpose, or somebody else that has a dream and purpose is going to give you a job. Like
Yeah,
that's
and you'll
it.
build theirs. You'll
So do
build
you want to
someone
have your
else's.
own, or do you want to do it for somebody
There's
else?
nothing wrong with that. But if you
There
tell
really
me,
isn't.
if you tell me that you don't want it, I'm gonna be your coach now and say I'm not gonna let you settle now, because you
Right,
told me. If you say
right.
you're fine, dude, you're fine, bro.
Then you're fine.
You're doing just
and
fine,
there's
man.
literally nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, God bless
Yeah.
you. Seriously, like this is you've living your dream life. Keep that up and be
But
happy.
I think there's a lot of people out there like me or you that just want something else.
Yeah, that's the
you
reason
know?
I'm doing this. I'm like, most people I know are
Yeah.
like, I can't stand this anymore.
And even for you, it started with like, in the music. Like, obviously, you always kind of wanted something a little more.
Yeah,
Or like,
I did.
And so, how big of a part of them is the music for you? Like, because
Yeah.
I feel like you're still making some income from that too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got to the point where I never wanted my passion to be my source of income, because then the pressure is involved with that, which makes
Right.
it not my passion anymore.
Right.
Now I got to get another hit. Now it's like I do it because I like it. Like I
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can do it whenever, because it's not like a sport
Yes.
where like I play basketball, do mixed martial arts. At some point, my legs are going to give out, right? With music, I can do this time.
You can do it forever.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and so you're making money, and then it's like, I mean, you can set it, like, you can build your own studio. You can do, like, it's always going to still be
It's
there
gonna
for
be
you.
there. Maybe I can help other artists make it when it's like.
Because I even think of that too with, like, as much as I loved music, there's people, like, pressuring you, like, you should be. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not really feeling it right now. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it when I was doing it. Like, I'm so glad I did the album that I did. And it felt really good to do it. And we got, when you're a kid and your, like, dream is, like, to be in a rock band, like, the idea that you're going to
Yeah.
record this, like, rock album in Seattle,
Dude,
and then
isn't that always
release
the
it.
dream, bro?
Yeah, so, like, to
That's
me,
it right
that
there.
was that was a cool thing. Like, I mean, yeah, would I want more? Sure, but I don't right now. Like, it was, like, something else was calling me, like, more into the fitness thing. So, like,
You got to follow that.
you got to
man.
follow what your
It's your
like,
life,
gut
right?
is telling you, because
Yeah.
that's where I felt like that's what I needed. I wasn't like satisfied or happy, and I think a lot of that came from like pro wrestling and like because you're in martial arts and you're a guy too that cares about physical well-being. I remember last time you were on, you were talking about kind of being like a man of the, what was that thing you said, like just like all angles you want to be
like the Renaissance man.
yeah
thing?
yeah Renaissance where you want to be like, and I totally dig that too. And
Yeah.
actually Tim Harris, Tim,
Yeah, I
right?
love
He
Tim.
was talking about that too, like the idea of wanting to be capable,
Yeah.
because like we don't really trust society in general, like
Fully capable.
yeah, so like
optimized person.
you gotta be capable physically too.
Yeah.
And so for me that's a huge thing, and it's a mental health thing, all that. So like that
It is,
was
man.
what was calling me towards this. And then when you, like you said, when you go towards that thing that's kind of calling you, I feel like that's when the good stuff starts happening. That's when like opportunities come, and that's like what's been happening for me.
That's
It's
awesome,
like,
man. Well, you can see it too, man. Like,
Yeah.
look how you're thriving with like even
Right.
this podcast. In
Yeah.
the fitness world, like, dude, you can totally tell this is your thing, bro.
So you gotta
That's
go
it.
go towards those things and take, like you said, action versus thinking about it.
Right. Well, I mean, you took action, and here we are.
Right. And so
Like,
this
that's
is your
awesome.
goal, is to help other people do that.
That's my goal. I mean, the mission is always the same: impact, inspire, and empower as many people as possible to fully realize their potential. That's my life mission statement, and hit financial freedom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that any way I can.
Right, and so it's like you're gonna be doing it for yourself, but it's like you can help other people, and it helps you. It's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
1000%.
That's a big thing. Is I found since networking
Mm.
and getting into like more business and stuff like that, it's like
Yeah.
mutually beneficial. You know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, relationships.
Yeah, man.
Like they're so important in like business or anything like that.
Totally, man.
Like you're a gym owner, you have a coach, the coach brings in people that, get a gym. It's like benefits everybody, and then it benefits the person because they're getting in shape. Like that's like the ultimate thing, I think, is where, like you said, it's like in almost everybody I know who is successful like yourself, there is some level of service to it.
100%. It's
Yeah.
1,000%
It's
service.
not always about just you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Well, there's no way I can. Like for me, I don't know how to make money the other way. If
Yeah.
I provide overwhelmingly massive value, like
Yeah.
overwhelming value, and I serve you so fully,
Mhm.
that's where the money comes.
Right.
Because that's not my mission. My mission is to serve, and then that's where the money does come. Right.
Yep.
So
Yeah, because even
byproduct.
it's all about value. So like,
yeah.
even like a big rock band, like what are they doing? That's like their value is just that valuable that they're making
Yeah.
so much money for themselves, and then all the people on the road, all the people that set up their show, all the people that work for 'em, merchandising, all the
Yeah.
people like. So really, you think about like just one rock band can like create jobs for like so many
Yeah,
people.
literally hundreds of people. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, man.
But like I never think of that. You just think of like, oh, it's Metallica, but then you're like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
you think of the impact of like, and then that's probably part of what keeps them going too.
Yeah, dude. I bet that's
Yeah.
got to be their thing, man.
I was just listening to David Goggins, you know that guy?
Yeah, I love David Goggins.
I love that guy, dude. He was like really
Just
talking.
get you up in the morning, man.
Well, and he was talking about that too, like part of what keeps him going, and running all the time is like because he is David Goggins.
Yeah.
He's like, I am this thing to so many people that it's like I can't quit.
Well, good.
Because
Yeah.
I have to be that for these people.
Yeah.
It's like I provide this value for them, and it's like, but I mean, then he's getting value because it's keeping him from becoming complacent. And,
Yeah, but see, that's such a good mentality. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So Kobe Bryant, favorite basketball player of all time, right?
Yeah.
And he would be beat up, and he'd play every single game because he would say, well, there was some kid that flew 1,000 miles to see me.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, Kobe, business-wise, you should rest your body for the playoffs.
Yeah.
You should rest. You should rest. He said, I'm going to play as if it's Game 7 of the finals every single night because some kid's expecting that. And that's the difference between the greats and the people now. They're like, I got my paycheck. I'm about me.
Nah,
I'm
I don't
out.
like that. I like the greats, dude. That's true.
Yeah.
It's like, and actually, I think it's funny because I think Goggins was actually talking about him
Probably.
because he was talking about like when he had this knee issue where he thought like possibly his whole running thing was done,
Yeah.
which they ended up figuring it out and he can run again. But
Yeah.
he was like, I was good, man. He's like, I was good. He's like, it was kind of like when Kobe retired, like because he had done what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't any. If he did have to retire, he was okay with it.
Yeah.
Because he never, if you do something half-assed, like you said, and then it gets taken away, and then you look back on it with regret, and you're like, man, I could have done so much better. But if you're doing like what you said Kobe is all the time,
Yeah.
so you're never like leaving anything, you're always
Leave
putting
nothing.
it all out there, dude.
As if it's my last. I mean, that's how I do.
Yeah.
That's why I started this mentorship because that's what's missing out there too. That
Yeah.
attitude. They're like, I got my money from you. I'm done. Versus me, I'm like, I may die because of how much effort I'm giving this one student.
Yeah.
That's okay with me. I will die happy that I helped somebody else. I'll do that with every fucking person.
And do you think that's something you're always going to just have? Like,
Always, dude.
Yeah,
Always.
like it's like I think it's a never satisfied thing. Like it's never.
That is the mission.
It's
right there.
never over. It's kind of like with lifting. Like you can't just work
That's it.
really hard for a week and then like.
Nah, you got to keep going. It's about the pursuit, the struggle of it.
Yeah, and
right?
almost that's part of the love of it. Even though it
is, dude.
sucks and it's painful and it's like hard work, you almost kind of fall in love with that part of it too.
You got to be a little psycho, right?
I think
A
you
little
do.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to be a little psycho.
All the greats
for
are,
sure.
man.
Yeah, think about that. Like Michael Jordan, all the stuff they said that he
Yeah.
would do, dude. He was messed up.
Yeah, he was, man.
Yeah, he did some messed up shit.
Yeah, people look at you and like you're crazy.
But that's why he was so great.
Yeah, but look at how many people he impacted.
Right, in a positive
Not that he's
way.
a perfect person, but like look at the impact though.
Nobody is
I want that
perfect.
level of impact, you know?
Hell yeah, dude. I like that. So, what does the next year look like for you then?
Oh, dude, great question. So I'm going to build this thing up. Now, I've got multiple business opportunities I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that also because when people in my program make it, I'm going to tell them which ones are working, right? I've got this
Right.
big plan, man, where I am going to have
So
circles
stuff
of
you're
influence.
businesses you're working with yourself, but then you'll be able to help your clients as well.
Yeah, but my main focus, I cleared my schedule, I cleared my deck, I'm helping people now. I got so pissed off, dude, that I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm
Yeah.
done, bro. We're going to make the education center platform where I'm legitimately going to teach you skill sets, place you at places, or help you get interviews at places where you're going to change your life. And then when you're done with that, I'm going to teach you all the businesses you can invest that money into. Well, let's change the new generation of how things are done.
Right. So that something that just it was because you kept seeing. So like you learn this skill set yourself.
Yeah,
You go through all this musician. You figure this stuff out yourself.
yeah.
You become successful, and then was it just something where because you have this knowledge now, and then you're seeing these people that are just clueless come up and they're like, and so you're seeing them get all this bad info and you're like, oh man. So it kept, is that where you said you got so like angry about it?
Yeah, that's
it was
part
like
of
a
it.
point was like, all
Yeah.
right, this is ridiculous.
It's a mix, bro.
I can do something about this, so why I'm going to like.
Yeah, well, I mean, two reasons for that.
It's like
I mean,
frustrating.
It's frustrating, and my mission's always been to impact lives, and I want to have $1 billion company. Well, why don't I start with $1 million one here that does this?
Right.
You know, and more importantly, like, I don't know if this is true because it's an absolute, but I do believe that there are sheep, there are wolves, and there are sheepdogs.
Yeah.
None of them are more valuable than the other. They're just roles. Okay, I'm not calling people sheep or wolves,
Right.
but like, you know, my father always said, like, you're not a sheep, but don't you ever be a wolf,
Yeah.
right? So you're
So what does a wolf kind of do? Like they're like
predatory,
the ones, predatory.
right? I'm still a carnivore, man. I'm a sheepdog, and I will
Yeah.
eat meat. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking defend you, and
But
I
you
will
wanna-
kill.
You
for
want to do it in a helpful way.
Well, I'm gonna do it to protect the flock.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't mean I'm better. That's just my job. It's just my role. Right? That's what I've been put on earth to do. To not just protect the flock, to grow it, to invest in people, to show love to people. Like legitimate love means I'm not gonna let you suffer, even though that means kicking your ass. I'm not gonna let you suffer, man.
Right. You know, that's powerful too, like where you say even if it means kicking your ass, because like there's like this weird, that was what like Goggins was talking about too, is like
Yeah.
this idea that like a lot of times we think that people who are nice are like the people that are good for us.
Sometimes.
I mean, it's not always true, because it's like
Yep.
sometimes the thing you need to hear is going to be mean.
Yeah.
And so really the person that's kind of hard on you sometimes is the one that cares the most.
Yeah.
And
With
so like
your
the
permission.
the person being kind of nice, sometimes they really don't care about you, so they'd rather just not. They're
Right.
like, we'll just, you know.
Yeah, and a good coach knows when to do both. Because, like,
Yeah.
breaking ground, if a tree breaks through the earth, that's a violent, huge effort thing to do, right?
Right.
Chicks breaking out of the egg,
Yeah, yeah.
right? To become a bird that's no longer in the egg, right?
Right.
That's violent. And sometimes you need someone to say, you can do it. And
Yes.
sometimes you need someone to tell you, do it now.
Right. So as a coach, sometimes it's your job to know when to apply pressure or when to go a little easy and back off.
Right.
Like, yeah, because I think that's the same with fitness. There's so many
Totally,
parallels, dude. It's crazy.
Absolutely, man.
Because like sometimes you do need to be hard on somebody. Other times you gotta just like
Yeah.
kind of let them figure stuff out and back off. Because if you put too much pressure, it's gonna break them.
Well, I don't want to be your motivator. I want to help you.
You should be self-motivated, right?
Yeah, but when I sense that you need a push, let's do it together because 2 is better than 1.
Right.
And you need to encourage them to look. I believe in you. You got this. You are the person I see you to be. You can do this. Sometimes it means stop messing around, go do it. Wake up and do it,
Right.
or don't. But you can't do in the middle.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Takes
man.
one a bit of each.
So if somebody was like wanting to work with you, what kind of skills would you be teaching them? Like what kind of
Oh,
stuff?
it's so much
Or
fun.
even before they started working with you, like. Do you have like a list of books you would suggest people read? And
Yeah,
then
man.
what kind of skill sets do you think people should start learning to be valuable in the world of business today?
1,000%, man. Well, number one, you got to find what you're passionate about, because that's probably or what breaks your heart or what gets you excited. Because one of those two things is probably what you're put on earth to do, or at
Yeah,
least
so
help.
it's going to be, so it starts with actually what they love.
Who are you? Yeah.
So you think most people are going to be the most successful when they choose something they're passionate about?
1,000. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. You
Yeah,
know,
I believe
that's it
that
right
too,
there.
man. Yeah, yeah.
But the skill sets are awesome, man. It's so much fun. This program I built, like, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard work, so it's not fun all the time. But number one is your mindset and mental training. Like, legitimately, I will life coach you. I'm not a licensed life coach, but I will performance coach you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna get your back, and you're gonna be like, you got a rock star by your side, because you are the rock star. Actually, I'm your support staff, right? Like, let's do it. Let's
Yes,
go.
yes.
So mindset, man, like the transformation I see in the people I coach over just weeks and days, it's insane, man. Because that's in you. It's in you. I'm just gonna call it out.
Yeah.
You're the one that's got this, man. I'm not your
Right, so
savior.
it's finding the potential in people already and then trying to help them, like,
Yeah.
etch the stone out around
Just
it.
carve
and
it
get
out
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
bring
yeah.
it out, and that takes work. But you know what? For the first time in your life, you're not alone doing this.
Yeah.
You got someone who genuinely will die for you or kill for you. Let's go. Well, for legal purposes, not actually, but
Right. Like, you're not legit, but
yeah, but I'll go to war for you.
yeah,
And
I get it.
you go to war too, right? And then networking, actually before sales skill sets.
Okay.
If you can network, and networking doesn't mean I want a job. I want a job. You look good for me. It's the opposite. Hey, what's missing in your business? How can I provide value? Congratulations on your success.
Yeah.
How can I serve you? People will want to hire you with or without training. Like, it's crazy. I can't give away all the secrets because there's so many of them.
Right.
But I will. Actually, that's why I'm using my Instagram. I'm going to give away everything, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
if you network in a certain way and provide value, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. They're going to train you themselves.
Right.
Right? So it's like, man, you are undeniable. I can't. You're
Networking's probably one of the most important.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If you give someone huge value, they're going to want you. And then the skill set of, like, now go give them a skill set, learn it, and we'll work together, because I'm an expert at, like, when I say expert, like, made millions of dollars from doing this. So if you have 10% of what I teach you, you're going to be better than your job.
Yeah, and I know that's true, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I've got some knowledge on the guy, so we know he's killing it. He's not full of shit. I can I can assure you.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was like, Deborah's been telling me about it, dude. That you've been
has she?
Yeah, that you've been killing it and
Oh,
stuff.
man. I miss Deborah, man. We got to get her back on here.
Right, we will do that sometime. We'll have another one where you come back on with her. But
Yeah. For those
but
listening, she's my Muay Thai coach.
she's a
killer.
Muay Thai friend of ours. Yeah, she is a killer.
Yeah, she's insane. In a good way.
So yeah. So those are the skill sets. Is there like a kind of like list of books or anything you suggest?
Yeah, man, there's so many. So podcasts for sure. The best book to read right now, if you're starting out, it's called Extreme Ownership.
Yeah.
By, oh my gosh, what's his name? The Navy SEAL. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. I can't believe I say this every day. One of the best books I've ever read, because it will change the way you do everything. Change the way you lead, your relationships, your money, everything.
Extreme. Oh, is it Jocko?
Yep.
Jocko Willink?
Yep.
I do love Jocko,
Dude.
dude. That guy's so good.
It's gold. Probably the best book.
Is he still doing the like every morning he takes a picture of his watch thing?
Probably still
I'm pretty
doing
sure
it, man.
he
He does
still
it all
is.
the time. He's a
Yeah.
man of discipline. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's probably a good one. I have one of his books I haven't read yet.
Yep. That one. $100 million offers by Alex Hormozy.
Okay.
$100 million offers. Whether you're a business owner or not. Well, you are going to be a business. Everyone is a business whether they know it or not.
Right.
You have value to offer, monetize it, but give value.
Right.
$100 million
I'm starting
offers.
a business right now, Freed Off Fitness. So
Dude,
yeah.
dude, actually, I'll work with you, man.
Yeah,
Like, I'll
yeah.
give you all the stuff I know. Like, it's,
Yeah.
oh, dude, it's going to blow your mind.
I know, yeah. I'm
You'll
looking
love
for.
Alex
I'm looking
Hormozy.
for. We'll talk off air,
Oh,
dude.
dude, I
but-
can't wait, actually. I'm excited for you, dude.
Right. I'm excited too, man. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're built for this, man.
Yeah. I mean, I love fitness. So what am I gonna do?
Dude,
you
seriously.
know?
I mean, think of how many people look at what you're doing and like, man, I wish I could do it next to it.
I know it's great, and it's like a positive thing.
Oh, it is, dude.
You start impacting people in a positive way, and you just feel like good.
Yeah. And it's with fitness where you're like, your body feels good, your mind feels
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Why would you not want? Dude, that's so dope, bro.
It's kind of what you said, like with your clients. The first thing you do is find what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What drives you?
What drives you? So for me, it's always been fitness, dude. Yeah. It's like you. I mean, kind of art too. So like music, pro wrestling, fitness. But for me, it's like fitness is like the foundation.
Yeah, man.
You can't. I couldn't really do anything else without it. You know?
Bro, I'm gonna get you that book for Christmas. You're gonna
the
freaking
Jocko
love
Willink one.
it. That one and the $100 million offers by Alex Hormozy.
Ooh, okay.
You're gonna love it. Oh, dude, I can't wait to give you some stuff. I know we're on air right now. But
Yeah,
for
dude.
real.
No,
Well, this is what we do, right? This
is what like. I mean, even the podcast, in a sense, dude, is like, it is. Creating connections. It's networking. It's like.
Yeah.
It's also like spotlighting other people. Kind of like you said, like. A lot of times it is a service to the person that I have on. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
huge.
and so it's funny because like I remember the one of my guests one time was like telling me like, oh, you're so flattering or something. I'm like, well, it's kind of what my job here is to. I'm not gonna like have somebody on and make them look bad.
Yeah, man.
Like my goal is to like if I have you on here, I already think you're a cool person.
Yeah, it's just a roast the whole time.
Yeah, I'm happy. And I have yet to have anybody come on that's been a shitty person.
Yeah, that's good.
Which I'm like waiting for it to happen sometime.
All right, I got this. Watch this.
Well-
I'll mess this whole thing up.
Yeah, dude, it's like next thing you know, you're putting a ski mask on and talking like Kanye and shit. And,
Oh my god, bro.
I haven't had any Kanye type activity on here yet, so.
Oh man.
But I'm sure it's gonna happen someday. So
Yeah, well, that'll be memorable.
That's
Send-
gonna
send
be
me send me that copy when that
that's
happens.
gonna be a memorable episode because it probably won't air, but I'll keep a copy. Just
break out some of this and we'll.
Dude, you want to have a little bit of
I
that?
mean, you said you didn't want some stuff like that, so yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
The
This is good
Metallica
stuff.
whiskey. You want to try some?
I'm down, bro. I'm a whiskey guy, Scotch guy too.
Do you see those cups over there hanging?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got you.
You want to grab one of
I
those?
got you, man.
Or grab two. I'll have a little too.
All right.
Just a
Share,
tiny
share.
little bit. Is there two over there?
Yep.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I busted this out, but I figured you like whiskey.
I do, man.
Here we go, dude.
Oh, whiskey and Scotch. It's my thing. Bourbon too.
Hell yeah. Well, this stuff's like really good. I'm not really a drinking right now, but
Oh well, don't let me ruin your habits, bro.
here, dude, how much you want? I'll just give you a little.
Yeah, a little's good.
There you go, man.
I do have some singing I'm still doing, so I'm trying to get too much.
Too much. I mean, doesn't it help your singing?
Sometimes depends.
I was gonna say sometimes, like,
Right before, yeah.
yeah,
The night before, I wake up the next morning. It's weird. My voice is
like a dry.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Cheers, my man.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, that stuff is so good. Hell yeah, dude.
That is good, man. What is it?
Yeah, that's them blackened American whiskey Metallica. Yeah.
That's solid, man. I'm gonna have to get me.
People
some.
are probably sick of me talking about it on here. It's always
Oh,
like, "What's
yeah.
that whiskey?" Oh, it's Metallica. I'm obsessed with
Yeah,
Metallica.
that's right. You mentioned this a lot, actually.
Yeah, I do. I find that already, like, on the podcast, like, and it's like all podcasts I listen to, I hear the people on it repeat the stuff again. I'm like, I'm not going to be any different than them.
Yeah. No,
If
it's
you're
good,
just talking every day for a living, it's like you're going to be repeating stuff.
Hey, Black and Metallica, sponsor my guy, man. You know.
Right, dude.
Let's
If
do
they would
this.
just sponsor me, bro, it is good shit. Yeah, it's like a Bud Light with the logo facing out. There's a
Hey, man, we're gonna get that's our target, man.
yeah.
You're gonna get so big that they're gonna come in and be like, hey, can we get on your podcast? That's what they're
Right.
gonna say.
I remember that. It's like I'm dating myself, but remember that Wayne's World thing where they like had all those like product placements in it.
Yeah, dude.
He's like, who would sell out to the man? I mean, we would never do that. And he's like,
It's actually really funny.
it's
Dude.
one of the funniest ones. And then Garth's like sitting over there, totally decked out in like fucking like Reebok ski gear and everything. He's like, I know, man. It's just like so wrong. It's like,
You wouldn't do that.
oh, do you have a headache? Take 2 of these. This is like,
I think that shit's funny though, dude.
that
That's
shit
hilarious,
cracks
man.
me up. Still. For like all the kids watching, it's Wayne's World. Like these kids watching are like,
Kids are not gonna even know what that is.
no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's old school shit.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It'll be retro now. It'll be throwback. They'll love it.
Though a lot of them probably do know it because a lot of people watch stuff on like Netflix,
Yeah.
throwback stuff, and like they just did that Wednesday Addams thing. So
Oh,
now
dude, that's
everybody's
right.
watching the old school Addams Family movies.
That's right,
and,
man.
like,
That's crazy.
it is cool how like some of the new stuff becomes or old stuff becomes new again, right?
Yeah, man. That's how trends go, right?
It is
Things
weird,
come
dude.
back.
Trends are so weird, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like they just peak and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Like
And
that.
then like 30 years later, someone's gonna be like, you know what would be cool if we did that whole thing our parents did when they were kids. You're
Right,
like,
and
what?
they'll do it at like prom, like they'll have a whatever night, like a '90s night.
Yeah,
Or, like, there's
yeah.
kids now that are in their 20s and they're like obsessed with Friends, from,
Dude,
like-
right?
Yeah, it's wild. But that's probably something with what what you do is like marketing and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
you probably have to figure those out, like ride the
do.
trends and like.
Dude, what's crazy that's why I want to be a mega billionaire because they
Right.
influence the way. Do you know, like for most people, we don't decide if we like Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
You think you decide. It's been decided for you.
Right. It's
Like legitimately, you don't even know it.
Well,
It's
it
insane.
is weird because it's like I have this friend who he works for GoDaddy.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And it's so funny because like he's a super nice guy, and I knew he worked for GoDaddy.
Yeah.
And when I was setting up my website for Freed Fitness, I used Squarespace.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and it's a great shout out to Squarespace. If they could sponsor me too, that'd be awesome.
that would be awesome. They're dope.
They are dope. I love Squarespace. So like, but it was funny because like when I talked to him and he's like talking to me about the business, and I show him what, and I'm like, oh, I was like. Yeah, he's like, so what was it? He wasn't even mad that I didn't use like where he works for. He was just kind of like wondering, like, well, I'm like, well, it's just the one you think of. So it's kind of like you said, like,
It's just decided.
if you
for
think of soda, you're going to think of Coke, like Coke or
Yeah.
Pepsi. Like, I'm not thinking of RC.
no,
I'm not, I know these other ones, but like the first two that come to mind. And that comes from somewhere. That's
Dude,
marketing.
they're going to war right now behind this. No one even knows it. I mean, you think you know it, but you don't know how bad
Oh,
blood
it's
the war
probably
is.
crazy,
It's
dude.
insane, and how crazy like people go and like they hire psychologists to figure out if I say things a certain way,
Oh
will I
my
get a yes
God.
later on? And that's why that's why it pisses me off because I'm like, you guys are
So
using
they got
that
like
for.
teams of fucking psychologists and writers like coming up with those like Christmas commercials with those polar bears and the
Dude,
Coke and
it comes down to
like
that. Like
we've
yeah.
done like tons of market research. The families love Christmas. They love this. Let's put a cute polar bear here.
Well, when you have a $500 million budget, you know, it's
Yeah,
like
you can do a lot of
yeah.
research. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you own the media too, I mean, this is getting to the dark side of things. If you
Yeah.
own the media, you can also influence how people vote, how they act, where they work,
That is creepy.
how much money they make,
Yeah,
how
that's
happy
creepy.
they are. You can influence their emotions. It's pretty scary, man, what's actually out there.
And so that's the incentive to kind of get out of the rat race.
That is.
And the way, so
Self-sufficiency.
that's like for me too. It's like, is this about wanting to be rich and be balling out of your mind? I mean, part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like part of it is just freedom.
Dude,
It's like,
that's more important to me.
it's the more important thing because at the end of the day, what's more important actually like family,
Yeah.
friendship, like actual like loving, like that's more important than money.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? But
Totally.
like getting out of the rat race is like that's the goal, dude.
Man, like this year, I don't know if you've seen her. I got my dream car finally. This
Yeah.
beautiful F-Type Jaguar. She's beautiful. Like she's classy.
See,
but
that's
she's
how you know
fast.
he's balling because I haven't even seen one picture of it on Instagram either.
Oh, see, but that's
so.
how you, because I'm not trying to show. I'll
He's
show
not
it now.
trying to show it off.
I'll start showing it because people, I'll show a little bit. But it's like,
We got to do a photo shoot immediately.
hey, dude, do it to promote your fitness, bro.
Right, dude. I'm
Fitness
gonna
heads
be
love
borrowing
cars.
your car, bro. Yeah.
This testosterone
That's like
is strong
the-
with this one.
That's literally what all these like fitness influencers do. They'll just like rent somebody's car. And,
They
like,
do, man.
I mean, some of them are balling and
Yeah, I'm
they
sure.
make money and they got their own car. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even saying that's not cool. I do think it's cool when they have their own car and they're taking a photo of it on Instagram and they're looking jacked.
Because it reminds
That's
you,
dope.
like, hey, I worked hard to get here. Yeah.
And even the person, I even have grace for the person that's renting somebody else's car because it's like I see what they're trying to do. I'm
All
not
right.
gonna hate on you.
yeah, it's like $600 a day to rent the Lambo. Or
Right,
an
they
hour,
got
I
it
don't know
on
how
like
much
the
it is.
Turo app or something. Like, it's
quick
cool,
music
bro.
video.
You're just trying to grow your Insta. I get it, but to me, it's cooler if you actually own it.
Yeah, it's a symbol
Yeah.
of what you did. But even then, like what you were saying, it's like, that's my dream car. I've been looking at that for a while. That's not what I'm going to remember most about this year.
But dude, congratulations on that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, 'cause
Appreciate
that is
it.
dope.
I'll remember the fact that I worked like 4 hours a day to get where I'm at instead of working 20.
Yeah, and
You
so
know what I
that
mean? So-
gave you time for the things that actually matter.
Yeah. I mean, I've been
That's
closer to my
good.
family in the last 2
Right.
years than any year before. Isn't
Dude,
that nuts?
that's the crazy part. Like,
Can't put a price on that.
You know, that's the hard part about being out here grinding and doing the fitness stuff and being
Yeah.
far away from home. It's like, if I did have more money, I could go home so much more. I could see my family so much
Right.
more. You know what I'm saying?
That's your
So, like,
motivation now, though.
well, and that's gonna happen eventually here. You know, and
Nice.
that's the exciting part. It's like, but I do think it's with financial, you know, gain and with success comes a little more freedom.
Yeah.
You know, and less freedom in certain ways because you always got to keep on top of it. I imagine.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. So, like, for you, like, what does financial freedom actually mean? Like, is there a number to it, or is it about a time? Like, what to you would be like, man, I am no longer stressing?
You know, actually, I think it's just like having your basic stuff covered where you're not too worried, you know, about paying your bills and then having a certain amount in the bank. But, like, it's really just kind of like not having to have, you know, and I've kind of already done it in a sense because, like, the service industry is, like, kind of like I've been able to avoid, like, I've had jobs where I was, like, a welder. I've had jobs where I was, like,
Yeah.
working 9 to 5s or, like, working behind a computer. And those, like, punch in, punch out jobs for me were always, like, just, like, torture.
Yeah.
For whatever my personality type is.
I hear you.
So, like, at least the bar industry was, like, a little different. You know,
Which you're
it's
good
like-
at, by the way. Cause
Yeah, and it's like
got the
you
personality
learn
for
you
it.
learn skills from it. You know,
Yeah.
you actually learn, like, how to talk to people and,
Yeah.
you know, you learn networking and stuff like that. But, yeah, I guess my goal would just be to be making – it's kind of what I'm already doing, just like if it in the next couple of years it keeps going the way that it's going. You know,
let's
that's
go.
like what
Let's
that's what
go,
it's going to
man.
look like. You know, it's going to be the same thing, just like more of it.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then probably eventually getting out of the bar industry, hopefully.
Right,
you know?
enough where you don't have to work.
Yeah, where I just don't have that regular job.
Yeah.
You know, it's all coming from this. It's all coming from the podcast. It's all coming from Freed Off Fitness. It's all coming from whatever else.
Dude, how cool would that be? Where people are like, what do you do? And you're like, everything that I love.
Yeah, that's,
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, that's basically what it is, dude.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. And it's like already kind of happening.
Yeah, man. I
That's
mean,
what it's
even a year progression. Last time I was on here was a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And here I'm like, dude, this guy's killing it. Like, you are
Yeah, and a year ago
Living
it
your
was
dream.
like it wasn't even the thing it is now. It's crazy.
it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congrats, bro.
Right.
That's huge, man.
Yeah, it's been going well, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, all right. What else do I got here for you, man?
Yeah, what do you want to know, man?
How is that whiskey treating you?
It's good, man.
It's good.
It's just smooth. I'm like, man, I might just drink the whole thing.
Yeah, dude, you can have some more for real. It is that good, isn't it?
It's good, man. It's smooth. It's warm. It's strong
Yeah.
still. Like that's a solid whiskey, actually.
Right. I had some of this the other day, and then I think before that, I hadn't had whiskey since Bridget's birthday party.
Oh, really?
And you were there too, dude.
That's the last time?
Yeah, and when was
dude,
that?
we gotta have one this year. I haven't seen her.
We
in, like,
should
9
get
months.
together with her.
Yeah, I miss.
She would tell us we need to stop everything we're doing.
Yeah, she would
Stop-
hate it.
She would shoot down all of these ideas.
Yeah, but then she'd secretly support it because she loves us.
She would. Yeah, totally. She'd
love
still
that
be.
girl, man.
I do too, dude. She's so great.
She is. She's so funny, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that was probably the last time I had whiskey.
Wow.
So like, how long ago was that, dude?
That was almost a year, dude. That was January.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that
was a
that was
while
about
ago.
11 months ago.
Yeah, man. So even in the last year, you've made a lot of progress too.
I don't even recognize.
I mean, you were
who I
already
am.
there, but it's like, because I didn't even know you were working on all this. Obviously, you were already.
I kept it real quiet because I just wanted my whole brand to be music.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want people to know if I'm a millionaire.
Right. So that was what you were doing the whole time. Besides, but like you were still like trying to do the music thing as like.
Yeah, just the
And
front.
even
of
your
who I
your
was.
Instagram was even like more of the music thing.
Yeah, because I was like, it's just
And then now it's like that's kind of what made me want to talk to you is because I like what you're doing.
you do like it. I'm glad, man.
Well, I do because it's weird. Some people might, you could say like Instagram's full of a bunch of cheesy shit too,
It is.
and it is, but also like there is something about having like even when you just post certain things, even if nobody ever uses your program, and they just follow you for like the knowledge that you're already posting, like that can start breaking down that kind of like you said that spell that's put over us from
That's
the time
all
we're a
that
kid.
matters. I'm gonna keep shooting my shot if that's what.
Yeah.
I mean, so when I was doing music, I was like, most of this music isn't even stuff that I like to do.
Yeah,
So I'm more of an R&B, hip hop
Right.
kind of guy. So I'm
Right.
like, this is cool. It's not really my thing,
yeah.
right? But I would get people messaging me saying, Josh, because of this one song, I didn't kill myself tonight.
Oh man,
I'm thinking,
how powerful is that?
Dude, I didn't even like the song, but it doesn't even matter anymore. I'm doing it for this girl.
Yeah,
I'm doing it
that's
for this
huge.
guy that messaged me saying like, hey man, you kept my head in the game because of this. So every post I do now, like I don't care if a million people hate it. If one person is able to keep going today because of that,
Yeah.
that's my job and my duty, I would say. So let's
Well-
do it. Why not?
That's so powerful about music, but like even like posting, like you said, like somebody might see that and be like, "Oh, I was gonna give up, but I
Yep.
saw that post and now I'm not."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I mean, social media is what it is. There's a lot of negatives to it. It can be evil. It can be this, but also it's here
Yeah.
and
It
it's
is
part
what
of
you
our
make it.
life, and
Yeah.
whether we like it or not. So if you're doing something positive with it, and you can do something, and especially Instagram, it seems like one of the more positive
Right. I mean, you reach hundreds of
areas
thousands of
out
people.
there. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, man, yeah. And it's a good business
So-
tool, by the way.
But dude, that's super powerful. Like
Yeah,
just the music thing that somebody would see that and write you something like that. I can't imagine that.
Dude, like every day I get at least one message like that. So that's why I do this stuff. Like now it's like 20 messages. People like,
Yeah.
Josh, I need your help, or thank you for posting, or thank you for fighting the good fight. Like, all right, I'm gonna keep posting. I'm
Yeah.
already getting hate, dude.
Well, that's the other
Crazy.
thing I was gonna say is that's the other thing I've noticed since I've been doing what I've been doing as well, is when you get out there a little bit more. And
Yeah.
I've realized, and it's only a small level for me now,
Yeah.
but I've already realized like I'm not gonna be able to like read comments. I'm not gonna be, like.
People will tear you down.
It is like the minute you start doing well, there's going to be a lot of people
want
that
you to
hate
do well until you're doing better than them.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are inspired by you too.
Yeah, it's worth
And they're
it.
going to be like, man, he's killing it. I want to kill it.
Yeah.
Or like he's doing this. I want to do that. That like him. I used to know him and he was here and now he's here doing this. And like that makes me inspired. Like, oh my God, if he can do it, I can do it. Like,
That's it. That's the mission, man.
But with all that, you're gonna have maybe like 75% of it's gonna be that.
Yeah.
And then the other like 25% is just gonna
there's
be
always gonna be people hating.
just a bunch of trolls that are pissed off.
Well, that means I'm reaching enough people. If I don't have it, I'm not reaching enough.
If you don't have people pissed and hating what you're doing, dude, you're not doing shit.
And also, I started like being in sales and doing what I do now and in business. I'm like, I actually feel for them. Like, dude, like what's happening in your life?
Oh, right.
That's hurting me
It's
so
actually
bad.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you need to take it out on me to make you feel better today, and that's all I can do to serve you, go for it, man. Because like I don't care what you say, but like if that helps you, first of all, I hope everything's okay.
Right.
Right? Like what's got you so rocked that one post from a stranger will destabilize your world?
Well, and some people will end up having conversations with these people.
Yeah.
And then realize that they are going through something hard, and they've been able to become friends afterwards.
Dude, I do this almost every time.
Crazy.
I'll message them.
Yeah.
And I'll say like, hey, you look really great in that jacket, man. Just wanted to say so. And then he just like cuss me out at first, and I say that, and they're like, oh, look, man, I'm having a rough day. I'm sorry.
Right.
Or some girl will tell me something about something like, oh, you ain't this and this. I'll be like, wow, first of all, like you look awesome in this picture.
Yeah.
Are you a model? Like, congratulations, and I hope you get whatever it is you're going for.
So you're like fighting it with sugar.
Or just like, hey, I'll encourage you because I think I found something positive about you, and if it helps you to hurt on me, it doesn't hurt me.
Right, because you're in a spot where like, what are you gonna do to hurt me?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I want to, and maybe I can show them like, hey, I'm at such a rock solid place. Like, you could like.
Right. I've noticed that too. Like, the more okay you are with yourself as you get, like, if you are, especially if you're putting in work, like if you're good with yourself, like that's when you get hurt is when you're not. So what I was talking about earlier, to go back to it, like what I was talking about earlier, if I am not doing the things that I'm supposed to do and I start feeling shitty about myself because I haven't been taking care of myself and I haven't been taking care of my shit, then somebody says something to me, it starts to affect me. But if I've been doing what I'm supposed to do, living up to my standards, taking care of the stuff I need to for myself.
Yeah.
Somebody else says something to me, it just really doesn't matter anymore.
Because you're secure in the fact.
Yeah, you get pretty secure, and then it's like.
Well, that's it, man.
Yeah.
I'm not projecting. If I lash out at someone, what am I projecting on that person? Like it's me that's missing something.
It's always you, dude.
Yeah.
It's always projection. I've noticed that too. It's like, it usually says more about the person spewing the hate.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, man. Like, what's going on? How can we help you get out of this rut?
Yeah, so if I'm doing it, I'm going to look at myself and be like, what's going on here that you just did that?
Yeah.
You know, like you're doing something like, I mean, we all do it. Like you're trying to cancel some subscription and you're having a hard time and then you're mad at the person.
Yeah.
It's like, they're not the person doing it.
I don't know, she's not even the boss.
Like, she's just some person, literally probably some nice lady working at a computer, trying to feed her kids.
Like, all right, thank you
and you're yelling at her about like, I need to cancel this subscription.
Yeah,
like, it's like, come on.
Am I so impatient that this $25?
Yeah, and it's not her fault. She's probably just following the rules and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's me. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? I remember that was what that David Goggins was talking about too. Is like, he had some guy that was like spreading a bunch of stuff about him that wasn't true.
Yeah.
And he could prove it wasn't true as well. And he was like about ready to sue the guy. Mm-hmm. And he actually stopped and he was like, whatever he's going through.
Yep.
And he was already okay. So he didn't need to like sue him for money. Yeah. And he's like, what am I doing? He's like, I'm going to take money out of his hands, which is going to in turn take money out of his wife and kids' hands, food out of his kids' mouths. He's clearly already hurting if he's already doing this. So like, and I don't need anything. So why am I going to put this pain onto him? Yeah. He's putting pain onto me that he's projecting onto me. And now I'm going to put it back on him. It's like, I don't need to do it.
I know.
He's like, I'm good. And he said he just was like, you know what? This is the better revenge. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah. Where you're like,
he just moved on.
Yeah.
And
he said the scariest thing, right? It's like the strong guy.
Yeah. And he said,
punch him in the face and he doesn't do anything. And you're like, oh, you're actually strong.
Oh, right. I mean, sometimes, you got to get back at people or you got to fight back. But there is some power in what you just said. Like, or somebody's trying to cut you down and you're just like, hey, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Don't hurt your hands.
You're trying to get a reaction, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Hit the soft spot because you might break your hand in my jaw, bro. Like, all right.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you what you want. So, and sometimes that's more powerful.
Yeah.
But,
totally, man.
No, I really think it is. And, then he said eventually the dude was like, in some interview was like, I was really fucked up at the time and I wasn't doing very good when I said all that. So it worked itself out.
People change, man. Yeah.
He ended up telling the truth eventually. And he said, I was just in a bad spot.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's just in a bad spot, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are.
Right. So I think you're right. You just can't hold it against them.
Right.
But
Dude, I do have people cut me down because they hate what I'm doing. Because they're like, you're exposing my business. You know what I mean? Or like,
so that's side
different.
of it.
That's not hate.
So
that's
the people,
aggression.
the scammers are like, dude, don't ruin our grift.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm tearing this shit down.
Yeah.
Bro. Like I'm a really gentle guy. Like I'm really, really happy. Like people are like, oh, he's such a golden retriever, and I always will be, right? Like, oh, I love you, this. Make no mistake, I'm a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
Like if I think you're hurting people, dude, like I'm
you
coming
know when
for
to
your
do
shit.
it.
Yeah.
So it's like you know when to do it. Yeah.
I'm coming for like I need you to know if you are doing that to people, start another business because yours is not gonna last. Like I'm coming for it right now. Like I'm not stopping until it's eliminated. So you might want to pick something else up. And I mean that.
There you go. Shots fired, everybody.
Shots fired.
Shots
absolutely.
fired. This boy ain't playing around.
Absolutely. Shots with a cannon.
He's not fucking
fired.
around. He looked right at the camera.
No, this is happening, man. So
I'm cutting that clip out. I'm gonna put that out there. That's cool. No, for real, dude. That's good. Well, there is a lot of, I said that too about when choosing what supplements.
yeah.
Before I was okay with being sponsored by a supplement company, I want to make sure that I've actually used it. It's good. I've looked at the ingredients.
That's solid, man.
I mean,
respect.
I'm not saying it's like the greatest thing for you because it's still a lot of caffeine and shit. But hey, that's your own choice. But I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that it's not a bunch of like weird chemicals. It's not a bunch of proprietary blend. I know all the stuff that's in it, so it's like,
solid,
and I know it works. So it's like, before you want to, you just can't promote shit that's going to be shitty for people. Like,
no, absolutely.
You don't want to be like a snake oil salesman.
Oh, dude, that pisses me off.
That's
too.
the shit that's like, it used to be, like you said, but now it's like people are so informed.
Yeah.
You just can't really do it anymore.
You can't. Dude, I feel like I've never sold a thing. People are like, you're so persuasive. Like, dude, I've never persuaded or convinced someone of anything. I just ask you questions. Truly, I close my eyes when I'm on a call with you.
Yeah.
And I try and put myself in your shoes. Would I make this decision or not? If the answer is no, I'm going to tell you. And if the answer is yes, let me find something that's a good fit for you and your family. Because if you're going to spend money, dude, your family's involved. Do not spend on me unless you know this is going to help you. You know what I mean?
And so you won't let them spend unless you know that it's going to return dividends to them in a sense.
Like huge dividend, which is actually, ironically, why I was the leading sales rep at every company I was at because of that. Because people are like, I'm grateful to you. Here's my business. Here's my family's business. I'm going to repeat business. I'm going to upsell. I'm like, I didn't ever told you to do those things.
Yeah, so you really found your style with it then.
It's just building trust and saying, look, I'm one of you, man.
Yeah.
I am one of you. I'm actually fighting for you. Because people are like, oh, you're a sales rep. You're a company man. It's the opposite, bro. Mm-hmm. It is I'm on your team here.
I can't remember where I heard this, but I remember a story of this guy was talking about and I think it was on a podcast of some sort, and he was talking about when he used to be a salesman and he hated salesmen. And it was a pharmaceutical guy, so he hates big pharma and he hates what they're doing, and because they are doing a lot of shady stuff. Like there's that Dope Sick thing on Hulu. Like,
dude,
we all know they're doing a lot of shady stuff. Like we're the only country that they can put advertising on for pharmaceutical. It's
and
crazy.
They overprice things you need to live.
Oh my God, it's insane.
$1,000.
And so he said he was selling stuff that he really hated, and he just couldn't do it because he felt so bad and lying to people. And then he ended up getting on a product that actually was good. And it wasn't until he found a product that was actually safe and good. And I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't these before it was all this depression stuff, and it was kind of he felt messed up about it, or pain meds and stuff like that. And, but then he found something where, and he said he ended up becoming one of the greatest salesmen, and it was because he actually did kind of what you're saying, where he actually cared about the people.
Yep.
And it was that allowed him to start making a positive change, and then it turned into him being one of their best selling salesmen.
Isn't it crazy what happens when you actually help somebody and trust them to make a good decision, but informed decision.
Right. Yeah. He said that's what did it. It was actually helping people.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Because I think if you're screwing people over, you can only go so long before the game is done.
Yeah, it is. It's not repeatable business. See, for me, Josh, how did you make $1 million and everyone else made $1,000? Well, that one customer, they paid me month after month after month after month.
Because it was working for them.
And they got their grandma on it and their dad on it. I never asked for these things, but they said, Josh, I trust.
Yeah.
And everything he's actually stopped me from buying. So I'm actually going to buy the next one.
And if
because-
you ever broke that trust, it would ruin all that.
Why would I do that?
So that's what I'm
goes
saying.
Business. Yeah.
So that's why it almost gives you incentive to not break that trust. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm invested in your success. So.
And then if that happens with somebody, they're going to tell other people.
Yeah, exactly. You know how easy it is to get canceled nowadays?
Oh, that's right. I mean,
Why
yeah.
would I ever scam people? You're going to get canceled like
Well,
that.
and with the internet, they're going to hear about it.
Yeah, they will.
You know
So
what
it's
I'm
like,
saying?
dude,
It's
don't. Just don't.
That's why it's really getting hard to scam people. You
Yep.
know?
That's why these agencies are getting mad because they're like, oh, no, our time is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm going to just put you in the ground. You know,
So that's the goal, huh?
that's the goal, man.
Yeah, I like it, dude.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
It's fun,
Good
man.
strategy, dude.
It's fun. Going to war for people, with people. It's supporting people, man. Seeing these people succeed, to me, like, I don't care how much money I'm making from this business necessarily, because it's like, for example, I just took somebody right now, right? I won't say any names or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but like she was struggling
Yeah.
massively, right? Struggling massively to provide for her family all by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Within 3 days, her life completely changed from just 3 days of working with me and figuring out the right path for her, the right mindset for her, the right network, and the right job. With one job, her entire life, like her children are taken care of. And for me,
Yeah.
I don't care how much money this transaction made me.
Yeah.
This is an entire family that now has a future
Right.
because of one decision she made, and I just helped her along. I didn't save her. I helped her.
It's so crazy.
She saved
'cause,
her.
Like, once you have those tools and skills and you know what to do, it's like that's the thing. It's like it's out there for everybody. It's just we don't know how to do it.
We just don't know. We don't know how powerful we are, man.
Yeah.
We're so powerful. Right now in this internet age, we can sell, buy, create anything in the space of weeks
Yeah.
that can change your entire net worth, and we
It's
don't because we don't know how.
There's so many ways to do zero startup businesses.
Dude, right?
Just like zero, because the internet, you just
Yeah.
can start it.
It's
crazy.
insane, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild out there, dude. I think it's a good time to be alive and like in our prime. Like, yeah.
Dude, this is it.
I'm
man.
actually kind of like, people are always like, man, I wish I was born in this time. I'm like, no, I don't.
This is
I'm
it.
like, this is a good time to be alive. Are you kidding
Right.
me? Like, yeah, it's getting crazy with all the like, political fighting and online, but like,
Oh, yeah, it's been
I'd say
nuts.
overall, it's still like the greatest time to be alive.
Definitely, man.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows? I don't know what the future is going to be like, but I think it'll be good.
I think
Yeah.
so. Well, I'm gonna try and create it as much as I can.
Well,
you
and
know,
that's the
so-
thing. If you get in a position like what you're talking about,
Mhm.
now you're actually somebody that's helping design what the future is going to be.
That's why I want to be a mega billionaire, dude.
Yeah.
These people, they literally design a world for us. People are like, oh, we're living in a simulation. Like, we don't have to be. It is
Right.
one because it is what they say it is. But imagine you get to have a part in that. Like, you
So
weave the
you're
fabric.
one of the designers of the simulation.
I hope so at some point.
That's what I'm saying. Like if
Yeah.
you get to that point, that's what you are. It's like
yeah. Well, I'm gonna break the simulation if
Yeah.
I ever get to that point.
yeah.
Like the Hunger Games or some shit. You know, like, all right.
right.
just
Like
put an
blow,
arrow in
blow it
there.
up
Yeah.
and make it better for people. Yeah.
Yep. And then people create it.
hmm
You
I mean,
guys
that's
actually
the
have free
goal,
will.
right? I mean, that's kind of like, I'd say everybody wishes there was more power in the hands of like regular people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what I'm trying to do, man. Because
Yeah.
it's there for the taking. It takes a little more
we
work
just
than
don't
we're
know
used
how
to.
to do it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
and
more
it's a lot
knowledge.
more work.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I think is that I've learned is like how much work. You can hate on successful people, but like if you actually see how much work they're doing, you might be like, I'm actually cool with just going back to my hourly job.
Dude.
They can do all that work. I'm fine. I'll
It
take
took
my
a
paycheck.
million hours to make $1 billion idea, right?
Yeah, it's like I'll just take my paycheck and drink my beer on the weekend. That motherfucker can do that. You know what I'm saying? There are people that are gonna, because it's like it's
Yeah,
a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why it takes commitment, man.
Yeah.
It's commitment. But then again, it also takes a lot of work to tolerate something annoying for 20 years.
Well, to me, that's the worst case.
Yeah, the slow drip is like a Chinese torture.
Yeah.
A drip water in your forehead. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's torture because like, for me,
I'm more
20
leaning
years,
towards the other side. I don't want to do the.
No, it's make or break. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
let's
I'm
go
saying
on.
some people might want to do that, but not for me.
No, well, that's why you
Yeah.
succeeded at fitness, man.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm gonna hurt my body.
It's the Stone
build
Cold
it.
thing. It's like that ain't me. You know.
It's-
Just
That's
like-
why you're gonna be a successful trainer too, because you get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta do it, man. You gotta find something and go for it and work
Yep.
hard at it, and
Yeah,
like you said, change your mentality.
it is.
Just like make those adjustments, and I really like what you said about it's an everyday thing.
Yep.
It's never like you wake up and you're just like, oh, I'm fine. It's like, no, you gotta beat it again. Like you said, you
Yeah.
gotta go to battle again with yourself. It's
Yep.
like,
That voice is trying every day for 26 years to
yeah,
shut
it's
me
gonna be
down.
like,
So,
go back down, go back where it's safe, go
yeah.
back where it's comfortable.
Now you're killing me, dude. You're stabbing me as I do that. So
Yeah,
no,
it's like,
no,
no,
I'm done.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You just can't. I was talking to, like I said, Mark on that other podcast, and I was like, it's like a little demon inside of you.
It is, man.
Like this thing that doesn't want you to be successful because it's actually more comfortable not being
It
successful.
is, man. And it's actually is safe, technically.
It's safer. It's safer.
The thing is, man, like, I don't think anyone, that's why I was a good sales rep. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't reached the point where you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, and that pain is worse than the amount of money you're going to spend, if the money hurts more than you looking in the mirror, don't spend. Don't do
Right.
it.
That's a good gauge.
Because you'll never lift weights
Yeah.
if you don't want to be stronger. But if I look
Right.
in the mirror and say, you know what hurts more? Yes, it's safe, but I hate how I look.
Yeah.
It's painful to lift weights, but I'm
Right.
going to go do it.
If you already are healthy and you like how your life is, like, what's the point of trying to change it?
Right.
For me, like, I'm trying to get people that they just hate their life or they're very unhappy with their situation, and I'm trying to show them, like, you don't have to stay there.
Right.
Like, you have the power to change it.
Isn't that crazy,
You
man?
don't think you do, but you do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing. It's only for people that are like, if your life's already great and you're happy how you are, then you should just keep living your life. I'm not trying to, like,
Yeah.
tell you there's anything wrong with you.
It's
you
about
know?
how you feel, not even
Yeah.
how you look. Like with fitness, right? How's your
Right.
body feel?
It's
you healthy?
Yeah, it's more about feel and healthiness than anything.
Well, that's sales training. I close so many sales by saying, like, look, let me help you now. Like, let me think about it. Let me give you 100 reasons not to do this.
Yeah.
Let me play devil's advocate. It's expensive. Your wife may not be happy with it. It's a lot of work. I can give you 100 reasons why not to do this.
Yeah.
You just need one to do it. If you don't have that one, I'm not going to, in good conscience, going to sell you this thing.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, no, but this is the reason I have to do it. No, man. Here's 5 reasons not to, though.
So you almost try to talk them out of it, and then
Oh, I'm
that
going
shows
to.
you they're passionate about it.
Yeah, do you really want this? Because if there's no reason why, I'm not going to let you spend this much money and time and effort into something you really don't need or
Right.
want.
Right.
And then they'll tell you, yeah, I need this for this reason. This, and this.
So
I'm
then
not
you know
happy.
you got somebody that's ready to fucking.
And when they say that,
do
then
some
all right,
shit.
man, and with your permission, I can't let you leave the call without saying yes then.
Yeah.
Because you just told me the reason you have
Because
to.
you now know that they want to do something.
Yeah.
They want to make some moves.
Yeah. And then they're like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, because that sounds like somebody that's ready. They're passionate, you know. Like,
Yeah. It's fine to be afraid, man.
What do
Don't
you-
let that stop you.
What is the Oh yeah, don't fear is like the last thing that should stop you. Actually, that's usually the reason you should do it.
Yep.
If you're not scared of it, then you really don't need to do it. But if you're
Yeah.
scared of it, you might need to do it, man.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think the percentages of, like, when you talk to people, how many people, like, just in sales in general, what's like the closing versus not, like, how many?
Yeah.
Is it quite a, like, it's
Depends
probably
what
a huge
offer.
volume and then you get this many.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's crazy. So, like, in the sales world, high ticket online, right? When I say high ticket, by the way, for people listening in, that's a product, service, or offer that is worth $2,000 all the way up to $100,000 or more.
Right.
So it's not like they're making a $100 purchase.
Because even in coaching, there's certain things like called high ticket
Yeah, high
Yeah,
ticket.
yeah, high
Something that
ticket
actually involves an investment.
programs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for like coaching, or it'd be like a $5,000 program. or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, I just spent $40K on a mastermind for CEOs, but
Mm-hmm.
when I have money, it's like that's worth it to me. That's nothing because from that $40K,
Right.
I'll make $400,000.
Exactly.
That's high ticket though.
Well, and that's the same, similar to investing in a coach. Like,
Yeah, same thing.
it's like the value you get out of it is way more
Right.
than the value you're putting in.
It is.
Even though it seems expensive at the time, you take that chance.
Well, if I put in $40K or $50K and I make $100,000, that's already big. If I
Yeah.
make $41,000, it's big. But also, I wouldn't do that until I am like I have the means to do so.
You're not saying like put yourself at a disadvantage. It's like
I have the means.
I
to
have
do
the
so.
means to do this. It's still a lot of money, but it's worth it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So in answer to your question, the close rate at that level, actually, like a good close rate in the industry is like 25%. 1 out of every 4 people will say yes.
That's bomb. That's
Right.
good. Yeah.
At some companies, we can do 50, 75%.
Yeah.
Never been 100%, which is actually good. If I'm selling 100%, I'm thinking, I'm making mistakes. Some of these people might not need this, man.
Yeah, I just can't imagine that. That's
Yeah,
not
like,
a-
am I selling too much? Like, am I lying to people? Like, why is everybody
Yeah.
buying?
It'd be too good to be true.
Yeah, like, wait a second. I need to make them make good decisions.
Right.
So-
That'd just be like, yeah, I don't even know of anything that's 100%.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
Yeah. It's just not,
or
not
it's necessarily like water or something. Like, all right, yeah. you should
oh,
drink water.
yeah. Like everybody has to drink water.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. So 25%, but yeah.
It's a fun industry, bro. So
It is. It's weird how investing is like you said, you have to have the means to do it, but it still seems like a lot of money.
Mhm.
But like you said, I mean, even anything, it's like, well, okay, this podcast, if I would have never invested in the stuff to do this podcast, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
It's like same with like fitness. If you didn't invest in it, you wouldn't make the progress and the gains that you've made that then allow you to turn around and help other people. Like it's like
Yeah, totally, man.
it's so valuable to invest in yourself. Even like pro
Right.
wrestling, if I never would have took that chance
Yeah, dude.
and like drove to that little wrestling school and paid like whatever it was, like 1750, I think it was only like
Huh.
1,705. Like
Really?
yeah, I think it was like $2,000 to train,
Wow.
but then it was like yeah, they had some kind of deal if you do it all at once, it's 1750 or
Yeah,
something.
of course. Yeah.
But like back then, when I was like 24, dude, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. No, of course.
You know what I mean? And so I was still like, oh man, how am I gonna? But I did it, and I mean, I'm so thankful that I did because that turned into like all these opportunities and money
Yeah.
and like
Oh, dude, that right. Okay, see that right
Yeah.
there is part of the programming that I want to destroy. Is like we're programmed literally with marketing to be okay with spending on liabilities and not on assets. Which I mean by that is things that don't make us money versus things that do. Like people will pay $200 for an expensive dinner,
yeah,
but not $200 for an expensive gym membership.
yeah, no,
What?
100%.
What?
Dude, I do it all the time with
Right?
clothing and shit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy. But
always-
we're programmed to be like spending,
Yeah.
I want. Investing, no, which is the opposite. But that's what the upper, echelon want us to think. Spend, not invest. Like people spend $2,000 on a vacation, which is great.
right.
But a $2,000 course, too much.
The food
Whoa.
thing is huge because if you add it up all the times, and I really, because of lifting, I don't go out to eat that much.
Yeah.
I invest, for me, it's like worth it because it's like healthy food,
Yep.
all these supplements and everything. But it's like, to me, those don't seem like a waste of money because they're turning into something.
Yeah, it's an investment into your
But
body.
then you do go out to eat, and I've only done it a few times, and it is fun. I think there's positives to it. Like,
Yeah, it's not
hanging with your
evil.
friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you think about like, so I do that like every great once in a while, and it's fun. But then I think of like some people do this every weekend, and I'm like, I just spent like $100 on sushi.
Dude. Not to mention, like, if people go out clubbing or getting
oh,
drinks.
drinks, dude. Oh my
because they're
god.
hungover or wasted. And like, dude, why?
I mean, if I had a lot of money, that sounds fun. Just go out balling.
It
you
used
know,
to be,
but
man. Honestly,
not
not
at
anymore
our
for me.
age.
Yeah, oh my
it's
god.
like, yeah,
It's not anymore.
just not the same thing.
I
It's
know.
like, yeah, man.
Uh,
But no, it's like, so I think about that, and then it's like, oh my god, so like you're right, like, so not only do you put yourself in this box of like I'll never be rich, but then if you add it up, like, not to like talk shit about all the people like I serve and everything, but all the money they spend every day on beer and
Oh,
then the
dude,
food
yeah.
trucks that they eat and going out to eat, if you added all that up, like, dude, you could make some serious changes in your life with that money.
Right.
But instead, you're just gonna like sit there, drink, eat that food, sit at the bar, and complain about how your life sucks.
Right.
But
Because there's
you're
nothing
not
wrong
doing-
with those things.
There's nothing
It's-
wrong with
it's
those
amazing.
things if you're happy.
But you can't
like,
also tell me I'm broke.
Yeah, that's
Are
the
you,
problem.
though?
Like, it's like,
Are
dude,
you?
you could be doing so much with all that money if you
Four
just like,
$400 a month for
Yeah.
12 months is $4,800. You know what you can make with $4,800? Or what you can invest in? What
I
courses
don't,
you
but
can
I
get?
bet you do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm
you know
doing
what
this.
saying? Yeah. That's why we're doing this, people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like The Rock has that saying about like, if you're working a 40-hour job, but you're not taking the time afterwards to work on your goals and dreams, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That just means you're gonna be stuck there.
Right, it is. And there's a million excuses too, like, and they're valid reasons. Like people are like, well, I commute or I'm tired, I got a family. I'm like, yes, I hear you. That's why I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you. But no matter what, it's going to take a savage commitment.
Well, and all
Some
those
point.
things, I know they're hard, and I'm not gonna
Yeah, it's
put those
tough.
down, but they're all excuses.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, your excuses may be more valid than mine were, but there's still excuses. I mean, there's still a way. If you wanted to, you would.
Dude, my buddy that's getting into photography, and he had to also a bodybuilder,
Cool.
but he was working kind of for like a company of his friends, but he needed to make more money, so he went back to a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like getting up every day at 4 a.m, meal prepping, for all of his like bodybuilding meals, going to the gym, hitting his lift, gets back at like 7, goes to work to his 9 to 5,
Yeah.
gets done, immediately goes to the gym
Jeez.
to shoot because he's been doing photography for like fitness photography. So he spends all night like shooting and then editing. And he's been doing like boudoir shooting as well for
Wow.
women in lingerie and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it's like starting to take off for him and he's doing a really good job. But it's
Wow.
like, imagine if he had all those excuses, what you just said.
Yeah.
But bro's getting up at 4 in the morning, meal prepping, getting his lift in, going to work to pay the bills, and then going to work for his passion afterwards.
Dude.
That's dedication.
That is, man.
Yeah.
But it takes some sacrifice at first.
Oh, it's a lot of sacrifice. And
Yeah.
so, like I said, like whenever I get on these rants about this stuff, and it's kind of like, you are right. I don't ever want to, like, there is nothing wrong with if that's all you want.
Yeah, if you're happy,
You're happy and that's all you want in life, then that's great.
Yeah, you made it.
Keep doing it. You're already successful in your own right, and you're successful.
Yeah.
If you're happy and satisfied with your life, I just know a lot of people in those spots aren't.
And they say they're not.
And they're not. And it's like,
And you tell me you want it,
it's
but
like,
you don't actually want it. You know? So
right,
show me you want it.
That line, it's like most men lead lives of silent desperation.
Gosh,
you know,
man,
like,
that kills me. Yeah.
yeah. They just,
Kills
because
me.
and then at the end of their life, they sit in their deathbed and they're like, man, if I would have done, I was so good at that thing, I could have done it,
Well,
but I never tried.
hell, I am not going to be 70 years old and think.
Dude, I'm already kind of like I've already feel like if I died now, I would be pretty happy with my
That's
life.
it, man. But see, that's beautiful.
Because I've already, I've done things that I've wanted to that have been not that smart, but I did them anyway.
Right. Live every day like it's
Like
the
the
last
pro
one.
wrestling thing and
Yeah,
the
dude,
playing in
that's solid.
bands. Like, people always told me I couldn't do that stuff, but I did it anyway.
You kind of live like a fantasy lifestyle, actually. If you think about it, like you've done things that every kid kind of wants to do.
Yeah,
You
I
know
know.
what I mean?
I don't know how I did that. I just, it's like the same shit that everybody wanted to do. Like,
Yeah.
be in a rock band, be like a pro wrestler.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And now what does every kid want to do? They want to have a famous podcast,
I
and
know,
sponsors,
I
and be
know,
in fitness. And look what you're doing, bro.
Dude, I know.
It's solid, man.
It's pretty dope, actually. when
Yeah,
you
you're living a
think
good life,
about
man.
it. Yeah.
That's solid.
It's pretty fun. Like, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel really blessed with my life.
That's it, man. That's awesome, bro.
Don't you? Like,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
right. It's like, yeah, people always talk about, like, life and all this, and I'm like, man, the only thing about it is I just don't ever want it to be over.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm
Like
saying?
this?
Like I said, I'd be satisfied if I died tomorrow. I'd be happy that I went after the things I did, but I'm also kind of like, I enjoy this version of life so much, and like I know it's gonna change and it's always gonna be new challenges, but like, I'm like, I hope we can like live to like 200 or something.
Dude, that's such a blessing to get to where you're at. You know
what I'm
how
saying?
hard it is to overcome like mental instability and like not being happy,
Yeah.
and you're at the point where you're like,
I mean,
could
I've
do
had
this.
all that too.
Yeah,
Like-
but you made it, man.
Right. Yeah.
That in itself is a story, man. You know what I mean? That in itself right there is like, hey, man, there is like it's worth living if you can get through it.
And I think anybody that is like dealing with that stuff, because like I had another guy on here, Eddie Lowry, who's like, he does a lot of, he was in the Navy and he does a lot of work with like suicide prevention and veterans and
Oh,
stuff.
jeez, man. Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah, and it's, well, I mean, kind of like what you're saying about people writing you and being like, man, I didn't kill myself because of your song. Like, he does a lot of work with people like that, and
That's heavy stuff.
it is like, so people that are in those spots, it's like, that would be what I would tell them is just like, you just got to get through that spot because you don't realize that like there's going to be a point in your life where that's not going to be like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if you can find someone like you or a coach or a mentor or some help group, or if it's alcohol or drugs that are your problem,
Yeah.
like a support group
Just hold
to show
on.
you the
Just hold
positive
on.
side. And
Yep.
like, you'd be so surprised at how many people I know in bodybuilding that at one point were like at the lowest of lows, literally addicted to drugs and like
Dude, yeah.
alcohol or drugs. And now they're like thriving, in great shape. They have families that they love, kids.
Man, that's
and
crazy,
like
man.
all this to live for. And it's like, imagine if they would have gave up at the time when they were in that, like
dude.
that dark place. It's like, so that's like the powerful shit, dude. So
That
it's
is,
like, I'm
man.
not trying to brag about how happy I am or anything.
Oh, dude, we
'cause
got to celebrate that, man.
we should celebrate it, but it's like and I'm
Yeah.
sure you've been there too. Like you said, when you started, you were a starving musician, probably down in a dark spot, not at the best spot
Every
in your
night.
life.
I still remember looking at the clock and it's like 3 a.m. and you're just sitting there like awake because you're like, I
I don't know what I'm gonna
failed.
do. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, when really that's not the case.
No, but that,
Completely
almost
blessed and
sometimes
privileged,
getting
but-
there is good because look what it did to you.
Oh, yeah. You're
It started
enough is enough.
Right. It did the thing. I mean, it gave you like whatever it was that you needed to like put yourself in the spot to get to where you are now. Right.
Yeah, man.
And that's like, so it's kind of valuable to like kind of hit rock bottom sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think you can make change until you do.
I know.
You
It's
don't know.
like,
Everything else doesn't have to crash and burn, but you yourself, you need to get to that point where you realize this is it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Or learn from people that did.
well, that's what they say. The smarter thing is just to learn from other people that did.
That's why we're doing this.
So you don't, yeah, right. So that you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But I think it is important because like once you've been to those super dark places, it's like, that's why when people talk shit online or tell you, you're like, I've already done worse to myself.
I know, dude. I'm like, yeah.
Like I've been in
that's
worse.
cute.
Like this really doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah,
It's like,
dude.
that's so funny, dude. Like, I think that's why it's kind of valuable to be in those dark spots, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gets you to where you are now.
Yeah.
Well, so we're getting close to 2 hours, so I
Cool.
would just have you kind of go ahead and like kind of your last thoughts, what you want to get out to people before we get off air, man. So like, what do you want to tell to people? First of all, if they want to work with you, they should
Right.
get in touch with you. Well, your Instagram is Josh Pineda.
Official now. Josh Pineda
Josh Pineda
official.
official on Instagram, and
Josh Pineda on Facebook.
right, and so they can message you there.
Yes, absolutely. My DMs are open. I actually mean that. I'm actually going to get a team of people, too, to help me when I'm, like, sleeping sometimes.
Yeah, because it's so hard to keep up.
It is, which is a good thing because that just shows me I'm doing the right thing. So many people are telling me, Josh, I paid so much for this scammer. I'd rather pay you.
Right.
I'm like, don't pay me a fraction of what this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to help these guys. So,
right.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on the air, man.
You bet, man.
I hope
It
this
was
is
fun
valuable.
catching up with you, yes.
Bro, you're killing it. First of all, man, like, I got your back, dude. This is awesome.
Hell
it's
yeah.
awesome what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that, man.
It's so exciting to see, like, how far you come in the last year of, like, I mean, you were killing it already.
Yeah.
But now it's like, dude's doing everything that every kid wants to do.
Just fucking doing it, bro. Just doing it.
Like, man,
I don't know
you
how.
should write a book, man.
Dude, I'm about ready to, right?
Yeah, man. You have a crazy life. Rock star, pro wrestler,
Yeah.
fitness coach. It's awesome.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
But I guess if I can leave a message, it's a couple things, right?
Mhm.
Number one, look, this is the time to make money. This is it right now. And recession, inflation or not, that's actually more of a reason too. And society or the system, whatever you want to call it, will tell you that you can't. I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can, and you need someone who's going to believe in you, and that's going to be me or somebody. But don't do it alone and take action. Secondly, how you can practically do that. Okay, my program's not for everyone. It's for people that are committed to changing their life. So if you are happy, I'm not here to tell you to change things up. Okay, God bless you. Seriously, I'm praying for you. That's amazing. But if you don't like where you're at, do not settle, and you don't want to settle, here's what I can do with you. Let's plan a strategy to get you financially stable, head above water, and then crushing it and ahead of the 8 ball. And when you've exponentially increased your income, now we can relax and talk about how to grow it so you can be with your family. And how I do that is through my mentorship, my programs. I'm coming for the education industry. If you're a scammer, quit now before it's too late because I'm coming for you. You're not going to hurt people anymore. Okay, that's what I'm here to do. Help people. So again, message me, reach out. We'll find a good fit for you. And if it's not a good fit, I will give you as much blessing and love and encouragement as I can. And if it is a good fit, I'm all in for my students. Okay, like within days, I've helped a single mother and other people, like many people, get to the point they want to get to. So this is for real. And if you want to message me. What I will teach you is a high-level skill set that pays you well. Let's network and find a position where you get paid well. Let's make sure you're happy and morally sound and mentally sound, and then let's get you killing it. So that's what I'm here to do. Let's change the way things are done, man. Let's change the industry.
Hell yeah. That's a good message for people. So
Thanks, brother.
well,
Appreciate it when you
Josh,
say it.
I appreciate you being here, man. I think that was some good info for everybody. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll have you on again, bro.
Yeah, sure. Hey, sponsor this guy, all right?
Yeah, sponsor this podcast. No, support our podcast. All right.
Thanks,
Anyway,
brother.
thank you everybody, and we will see you next time.
Much love.
Peace out.
That was